Welcome, welcome, welcome in, everybody. How is everybody doing on this fine Monday? Well, early evening, I guess. It's 4:15 p.m. here in upstate New York. I'll give you a couple moments to get in. I didn't do an intro today, so hope everybody is doing well. How is volume on your end? Everybody doing good? We will be going over the Nancy Guthrie case. We will be going over the identity of the perpetrator. And I have some stuff to share with you. So, do you know that this has actually happened before, where there was a kidnapping that took place in Arizona? Actually, not too far from where Nancy disappeared from. So I have Nancy's flyer up here while we kind of just go over a few things and let everybody come in. Hi, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I am kind of under the weather today, but I just wanted to relax with you guys and go through some of this information that I found. And it's freezing cold outside. We had like a winter storm go through and like 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gust. It's not fun. So you might hear things blowing around outside because my mic seems to pick up everything. So hi, good to see all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to start off with something strange that I found today. I've been really digging on this case. I have found some really strange things. But first off, welcome in, everybody. We're going to be talking about Nancy Guthrie and the identity of the perpetrator. So, who would hurt an 84-year-old woman? Not very many people, right? It's just, you don't hurt elderly. I mean, you don't hurt anyone, period. But usually, like, children, you don't hurt children, you don't hurt elderly, right? That's just, people don't do that. That's not normal. It's not normal to hurt people, right? So we're going to try to identify our perpetrator, and that is what we're going to do today. So welcome in, get comfortable, stay warm, and let's get into it. I also want to tell you, do you know that Nancy, when she would go over to her friend's house, basically they rotated every weekend. She would go to a different place, right? I did not know this. Did you guys know this? I thought she just went to an actual neighbor's home and it was the same person every Sunday. But come to find out, Nancy went to different homes on Sundays. I did not know that. So it's like they rotated, right? So welcome and hi. Good to see all of you lovely people. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to just show you something real quick. I'm going to remove this and I want to show you that this has actually happened once before, and where there was a kidnapping. Let me add this here. Make sure you guys can see this. So check this out. Arizona caregiver charged with kidnapping of elderly patient. Patient. So this person was actually taking care of an elderly man. Now I'm going to read through this for you, and then we're going to dig into some other stuff going on in this case. Hi guys, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I kind of did a pop-up live today. I didn't schedule it or anything, so welcome in. So I want to read through this article with you guys, and it says Arizona caregiver charged with kidnapping of elderly patient. And it goes on to say, deciding that a parent or other elderly loved ones needs the type of treatment and supervision that is only available in a nursing home or other long-term care. Now we know that Nancy was not in a nursing home. She lived by herself in her home, right? In the Catalina Hills. And it says, goes on to say, along with the emotional stress that accompanies this decision, you may also have legitimate concerns about the care your patient will be receiving at a nursing home. So we can just kind of scratch that nursing home stuff out. So it says those fears may intensify when you hear stories like the recent story about a caregiver kidnapping a patient in Tucson, Arizona. Unfortunately, the story is not as unique as you may think. According to the news reports, a Pima County grand jury indicted Christy A. Randolph on a kidnapping, theft, and vulnerable adult abuse charges based on allegations made regarding a potentially missing person. So this was back in 2017. It says on July 20th, 2017, the Tucson Police Department responded to a report of a 68-year-old missing person from an assisted living facility in Tucson. Documents filed in the case indicate that the victim was last seen leaving for church the previous evening. Naturally, authorities were concerned as the victim is a vulnerable adult and requires assistance with daily tasks. So it says Randolph is alleged to have moved the victim to Florida without permission after stealing over $10,000 from him while working as his caregiver. Wow. I wonder if Nancy had a caregiver or somebody that just came over to help her once in a while. We were never told anything like that. We do know that it seemed like that she did go over Annie and Tomas's house quite often, right? They only live like 4 miles away. Hi, guys. Welcome. It's so good to see all of you. Hi, Lolo, Joyce, Kelly, Tony, all of you. Good to see all of you. Peacemaker. Hi. So this goes on to say that detectives from the Tucson Police Department, like adult abuse and mental health support team, began investigating the disappearance and issued a silver alert. So we know in Nancy's case, there was not a silver alert issued, but there was like a vulnerable adult issued though, right? It says the Tucson Police Department and the Arizona Department of Economic Security, Adult Protective Services, the Pima County's Attorney's Office, and the Arizona Attorney General's Office worked together to locate the victim and obtain a nationwide arrest warrant for Randolph. 1 week later, the U.S. Marshals Service District of Arizona arrested Randolph on a felony warrant in Deltona, Florida. This is close to Daytona, Florida. Fortunately, the victim was also found unharmed at the time and was eventually returned to Tucson. It's quite crazy, right? So in this case, it was a caregiver that took this elderly patient down to Florida, 2,000 miles away from where they lived. That's kind of crazy, right? So it goes on to say, elderly abuse by caregivers. Sadly, this story is not a rare occurrence. In fact, financial exploitation of the elderly happens every day, all across the country. Furthermore, it's frequently a caregiver who perpetrates the financial abuse. Although exact figures relating to the elder abuse are difficult to compile, experts believe that an older American is the victim of financial exploitation more than 5 million times. Excuse me, hold on one second. Lost my spot. I need new glasses. 5 million times every year in the United States. Because victims of elder abuse are often embarrassed or remain dependent on the abuser, experts also believe that for every one instance of elder abuse that is reported, at least 14 go unreported in the U.S. Now, I want to stop you here. Remember there was like a business card on Nancy's door? It is very creepy, Jen. Yeah. So, yeah, but still can kind of be a caregiver, right? And I found out that the lady's home that she was supposed to be visiting for church that Sunday, she's also a teacher, allegedly, like a middle school teacher. So I don't know if that's a coincidence, or maybe do they work at the same school, her and Tommaso, maybe? I'm not sure of that. So it goes on to say, what may be the most troubling statistic of all, however, is that there 3 out of every 4 perpetrators of elder abuse are family members or caretakers. When a family member is the perpetrator, 2 out of 3 times it is an adult child or a spouse of a adult child. That's interesting, right? So, and then it just kind of talks about dementia and stuff like that. So I wanted to read that to you because I thought it was really interesting how this has happened before. Now, I don't believe that it was a caretaker of Nancy's. I don't. I believe that it was somebody that was paid to do this. Just my honest opinion. So I want to take you over to this video here, and it talks about the Nancy's neighbor. And it's just a short clip I want to play. It talks about Nancy's neighbor and how Nancy went to different homes. They had like a call-in show, which I thought was great. So this is News Nation. So I want to give them credit for this. I don't know if I've ever used News Nation stuff. So let's just write them a new. Start the video and I will write it. All right, listen to this caller.
Information and identifying those critical pieces of evidence, run it to its natural conclusion.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, let's go back to Paige with our next call.
Hey, I think we're working on right now. We've got Kathy. She's on the phone from Dallas, Texas.
All right, Kathy in Dallas, what's your question?
Hey, Brian, I'm interested in your opinion with regard to the church goer. You know, we heard a lot about that person who alerted the family on day 1 or day 2. And since then, we haven't heard anything about them. And as a matter of fact, it was removed from the official timeline that the sheriff released. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's a good question, Kathy. There was confusion in the beginning because when we started going to the churches, we found out that Nancy hadn't been to church since COVID. She was doing church services at home remotely. Well, come to find out, as we started to peel back the layers and talk to more people, she was actually going to church virtually. It was a church service in New York City, and she would go to her friends. They had like different houses that they would go to every Sunday, and they would all sit together and watch the service virtually. And it was one of those friends who...
Did you hear what he just said? Baffled. Yeah, I drop my phone a million times a day as well. I was trying to reply back to you in the chat, but for some reason it won't let me reply in my own chat. So weird. So yeah, basically he's saying, oh my gosh, he is saying that Nancy visited a different person's house every Sunday to watch the church services, right? The one in Manhattan that Savannah physically visited. I thought that was interesting, right? And it makes me wonder, like, did she host the previous church service at her house, maybe? I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. You switched. Oh, are you in the right chat now, Peacemaker? Good. I hate the vertical one.
Who made the call and said, you know, Nancy didn't show up to my house today. She was supposed to be here. So it was a little bit confusing. Bob, I do want to go to you on this, though, since you worked for the sheriff's office. I do think it's one of those things that the sheriff put out initially that added to some confusion, and then he just removed it from the timeline and never really explained it. We went and figured it out, but it did seem to confuse people, Bob.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of statements that he's made that's been confusing to folks. All that is just, that's just good police work. I'm sure that the investigators probably talked to the churchgoer immediately as one of the first people. She was the reportee of, hey, Nancy's hasn't been seen in a while. They're going to talk to her immediately. And to, you know, dismiss her that she's not involved anymore, I'm sure she is. I'm sure they know exactly who she is. They probably talked to her on occasions for clarification on information that they've gotten with tips and things.
So this particular person that they're talking about in the video here, this is the woman that was hosting the church services, and she lives about 7.5 miles from Nancy. Hi guys, welcome on. Thanks for being here. Yes, and the sheriff. Do you see what they just said? How he's confused people by retracting his statements. So I just don't understand that. I really don't, because at first we were all led to believe that Nancy actually physically went to an actual church, right? But then it was said that she actually was supposed to go to her friend's house, which the friend's name is Anne or Anna, right? And then we took it as, well, does she go to this lady's house like every Sunday to watch church services? Come to find out, they actually rotate houses. So it really gets me thinking, whose home did she go to the previous Sunday? Yeah, we were all confused. Like, this case is just crazy. Yeah. Bananas. Yeah. Bananas is his name. So it's very confusing. So I'm going to play out the rest of this real quick, and then we're going to move over to something interesting.
Things like that. And, you know, the time it took for the media to find out that these were virtual church services as well. You know, all of those things combined, it's not uncommon. And again, it's one of those things that why it was removed from the timeline, unknown. Is it important? Sure, it's important. It's one of the first persons who said, hey, Nancy was supposed to be here and she's not. This isn't right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Get at your phones, at everybody watching at home. We're taking your calls. Again, the number is 1-844-968-77.
Okay, I'm going to remove that. And then I'm going to take you over to what would be the easiest route to leave. So when the perpetrators took Nancy, let me do this so I'm not freezing up. When the perpetrators took Nancy, what would be the easiest route to leave the neighborhood? And I thought this is pretty interesting here. So the easiest secluded path, right, that the perpetrator would likely take to avoid being seen from Nancy's address, right, in the quiet, low-light Catalina Foothills, says staying on a dark, winding residential streets with minimal here and no streetlights. So it says avoiding major lit intersections, busy roads, or direct lines of sight from neighbors or doorbell cameras. Quick but low profile transition to a main faster escape, right? And we're assuming there is a vehicle too, because we were never told like if there was a vehicle at her house. Now I do know that they did take Annie's vehicle into evidence. I do not know for a fact if they still have her vehicle. That would be interesting to find out. Now we do know that they took the gray Range Rover into evidence as well. I don't know if they have gotten that vehicle back. I don't assume they got that vehicle back. And they still have Carlos, our first detainee's phone. They still have his phone, right? Do you guys know that they still have his phone? The FBI has not given his phone back to him. Yep. Yeah. On 29 there. Ugh. So it goes on to say, obviously we know that they would try to take the fastest route out, try to skip lights and stuff like that. So it talks about where the black glove, like with the potential DNA match, was found. So that's 1.5 to 2 miles south along near North Campout Avenue Road. We know that's where the glove was found. And it says step by step, the easiest secluded vehicle path, lowest visibility. So you would exit Nancy's home, right, at 5820 North Camino Escalante, head southeast along the North Camino Escalante itself. So come out of Nancy's and make a left. And it says this narrow, pitch black, winding residential loop is like a cul-de-sac street with sparse homes, which this area where it's got like heavily, like it's pretty much black out there, right? Like you're not seeing anything when you go that way. And then it goes on to say that you would use like the residential roads, and then where there's no lights or anything like that. Now I did like a map where I showed on the map the other day that there is a way out of there going this direction where there isn't any street lights or anything like that. I know JLR did a quick route, and he showed lights on his side. But if you come out of our house and make a left and then another left and come around, there's no lights from what I can tell on Google Earth. I do want to show you something. So Savannah's, her sorority sisters spoke out today, and I want to show you that. Give me 1 second. Hi, good to see all of you. Yes, I think so, Peacemaker, because they still have his cell phone. They still have his cell phone. So if he wasn't a suspect, then why would they still have a cell phone, right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring this up for you. And this is on Savannah's. All right. Give me just a second, guys. My computer is slower than dirt. Let me remove this. Okay. There you go. All right. Can you guys see that? Let's see. Add to stage. There it is. Okay, perfect. You guys can see that. Now, this is Savannah Guthrie, sorority sisters rally around her amid search for Nancy Guthrie. This just came out this morning. So I'm just going to play this for you. Thought it was
fine. She laughed with the sisters, took tons of selfies, and reminded a new generation that where you come from never leaves you. But now Tucson is rallying around one of its own. And these young women, Savannah's sorority sisters, aren't standing on the sidelines.
You always come back home. And I think that for Savannah to have this career and then come back home and just treat us all the same, it was just really special to see how far this community really goes.
In the days since Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, the Pi Phi chapter has been flooded with messages from alumni near and far, all asking the same thing: how can we help? The answer, these women say, starts with simply showing up.
Why? Why is that important for you to be here today? Whether you're young or you're old, you've felt an impact through this case, and it's really important to stay together, especially now, and just continue to support them and show our love, especially because we are her sisters.
The chapter says they made a deliberate choice not to reach out directly to Savannah, wanting to give the family space and privacy. But they have been praying.
Charlene, they probably have it
down to speak with today. The women gathered for a moment of prayer.
You said a prayer for Nancy before you came here this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you say?
I kind of just asked if the Holy Spirit was able to fill this room and put a hand of protection over wherever Nancy is. And that, I mean, we're college students, we're inexperienced in this field. It's new, and sometimes new feelings are hard. And honestly, at the end of the day, giving it to someone who's able to put control over that situation is all we can do.
Across Tucson, the signs of solidarity are everywhere. Yellow ribbons tied to trees, neighbors watching out for one another. And many of these Pi Phis are from Tucson themselves.
Have you been to the neighborhood?
I have, yeah. I mean, I've lived in Pima County my whole life, and it's hard to think that something that awful could happen to anybody.
But these women stand resolute, knowing there is power in numbers.
She showed up for us, and so us showing up for her just is so important.
These sisters have a message for Savannah, not from Tucson's most famous Pi Phi, but from the women carrying her legacy forward.
And she knows Tucson is her home, but we hope that she knows that we are all her home now too.
She might be feeling hopeless, and I hope that she doesn't, but we will have enough hope for her to have this whole thing come to justice.
Oh. That is so sweet. Oh, I do want to show you this. One of the neighbors got really pissed off the other day. One second. This was yesterday. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Can you guys see that? All right, hold on. So one of the neighbors that lives by Nancy got really upset. Let me see if I can make it. There we go. Make it large so you guys can see it. Oh, buy natural ingredients. Good to see you, hon. All right, watch this.
Part right down the road on Campbell.
It's a neighbor.
So weird.
She's mad at the media.
This is our house. What are you doing?
It's a public road.
Filming.
It's a public road.
What are you
We're
filming?
not filming your house. And we're not filming your house. We're walking. This is a
Yeah,
public
who are
road.
you and where are you from?
Who are you and where are
Media.
you from?
I live here. This is my
understand.
street.
But we're
What
not-
the hell are you doing?
We're not involved with your house.
Well, then get the hell out of here.
We're walking.
Yeah, well,
You're the
keep
one with the vehicle,
walking.
man. You can get in your
You're
car.
filming, and
All
you
due
have no
respect.
right to film me. You have no right to publish any of this.
All
You
due
came
respect.
out on
Get
the
the hell
camera.
out.
You
All due
came out on the
respect,
camera.
You can hop in your car and go into your house. No one's
You
bothering you.
can leave.
We were
Keep
walking.
walking.
When we're done with
Keep
what we're
walking.
doing,
Keep
we'll
walking.
leave.
We will
Wait,
keep
you're
walking.
filming our property. You have no right
No
to
one's
do
filming
that.
your property.
We're
You
not
don't
filming
get-
houses.
Yes, you were. You were filming right up
No.
at the house.
We
We're
were
not
filming
filming
you
houses.
until you walked up here. We started filming you once you walked up here.
So you put
You
yourself
put
on
yourself
camera.
in here. You
And
see the
you have
camera?
no right to use that footage. For anything, you have no right to use the footage of our house.
You walked into our camera.
Well, the sheriff
You
seems
have
to
no
let
right
us.
to be here.
We do.
Get the hell out.
You can go back in your car and
I'm
leave.
sick of this media
Have a good day,
circus
man.
bullshit.
Have a good day, man.
Get
God
the hell
bless.
out of our.
God bless.
Yeah, right.
Maybe tell your sheriff to do a better job, and we wouldn't have to be here.
I mean,
They're media, so they think they have a right to do any goddamn thing they want.
Bring
We're
Nancy
lying
home.
pieces of shit.
Bring
Welcome
Nancy
to
home.
America.
Bring Nancy home.
Wow.
Oh, yay! Look how you drive.
I think
hold on, let me get rid of that. Wow, guys. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. You know what I mean? She can't, it's public, right, on the street. But I understand they're probably frustrated because the road is closed off halfway. They've had people there for weeks now. I mean, we're on our 23rd day now. The month of February is almost over, right? We got what, 5 more days? 5 more days in February. It's almost over with. I understand, but still, like, you can't, it's public. You can't, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. All right, I'm gonna bring you to some live coverage, and then I'm gonna read off some suspect stuff for you guys. Give me 1 second. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Let me put this on here. Give me 1 second. We'll go to JLR for a little bit. I've been going around
here. Nobody's at this realtor. Is it? That's why you parked in there.
No, but I did park there.
Put this up first.
Came out and told me
You
not
guys
to.
not around.
Yeah, we're good.
You good here? Thank you. It was an interesting ride. Good experience, right?
All right, we're just gonna I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna read off some stuff for you guys. So basically, when you have someone that is going to go in a home and hurt an elderly person, right? I have listed like some possible suspects and their methods, right? Based on like certain profiles of people that could do such a crime. And in my opinion, I believe that this person that took her was someone that felt like they were owed something. Someone that, no, I agree, Peacemaker. Someone that feels like they were owed something or deserved something from her, right? Or felt like they were left out of something. And now the first gut feeling I always had since the very first beginning was that someone was left out of a will, right? That's what my gut feeling was. Now we know that the sheriff has cleared the family and their spouses, right? The FBI has not. And like I said earlier, we know that Annie's vehicle was taken, right, into evidence, but we don't know if it was given back as of yet. So it's kind of, if they still have it, then I don't know. Hi, good to see you, hon. Good to see you. So as I'm just going to show this live footage, I'm going to read through some of this for you guys. So here's a list of possible suspects, right, of who the perpetrator could be. So number 1 would be like an overwhelmed caregiver, an adult child or spouse, which we know that Nancy is no longer married, right? Like her husband passed away. I mean, she's a widow. Her husband passed away. So this would be someone like an adult child or another person in the family, or just maybe a medical professional that comes in and checks on her, which I don't know if she had any type of person like that. So basically a profile of this person. So a family member who has become the primary caregiver, often living with the victim, but we know that she lives alone. So who is struggling with burnout? So someone that is struggling with burnout, financial dependence, or could be using a substance, like abusing a substance. So this method, this perpetrator may not use direct physical violence, but instead commits passive neglect, like neglecting her, stuff like that. But we know nobody was living with her. Now we have the predatory family member or acquaintance would be number 2. So the profile, an estranged relative who suddenly becomes involved, or a new friend who gains the elder's trust, often isolating them from other family members. Now, we don't know, I don't think she was isolated from other family members, but we do know that she went to this church gathering on Sunday at different people's homes. Was there a new friend or somebody that, or acquaintance that was trying to push their way into her life, like being pushy? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's kind of hard to talk about. Now, the method here would be financial exploitation. So this may manipulate her, right, into signing over assets, changing wills, or withdrawing large sums of money. Did someone take out any money out of her accounts or anything like that? I think she would notice something like that. They said she was of sound in mind. She didn't have any dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that, but she did have medical issues such as her heart. She had a pacemaker. She had to take medication for her heart, and she had to have it within 24 to 48 hours. And it says, leaving only paper trails that are hard to prove, right? Then you have number 3, the trusted in-home health aide or homemade or healthcare worker. So a profile of somebody would be an employee with a legitimate authorized access to the home, such as a home health aide, a cleaner, a nurse who knows the home's layout and routines. The method, they may use subtle, like physical tactics that don't leave marks, restraining people, rough handling. We don't know if any of that happened, right? But I just thought the profiles are interesting in here. So then you have like number 4, the charming narcissistic predator, right? A profile, a person who presents a very caring, attentive, and helpful persona to the outside world, but is abusive behind closed doors. Someone that gaslights, verbal assault, or intimidation. Then it talks about like power of attorney. So a profile for someone that could hold a power of attorney, which would be a person legally to authorize to handle the elder's finances, such as a child, a grandchild, or a financial advisor. So was somebody a financial advisor for Nancy? And so this method, they would misuse their authority to steal money or property, often forging signatures or fabricating reasons for large unexplained expenses. And it just talks about common characteristics. God, I can never say that word sometimes. I don't know why. No trace perpetrators. So the research indicates that these type of profiles often share specific traits that facilitate their actions without leaving evidence. Someone with substance abuse or mental health issues, high rates of alcoholism or drugs are among perpetrators. Then it talks about financial dependence on the victim. It says the abuser relies on the victim for housing or income. And then social isolation of the victim, which I don't believe she was going through that, because it seemed like she was getting out of the house and going to visit her friends. So what do you guys think about those? That's interesting, right? I have this hopeful theory because there was no legitimate ransom. Yeah, I don't think that the ransoms were legitimate either. The perp randomly got picked up on something unrelated after abducting her, and she's stashed somewhere and he's sitting in jail. I would love to have that happen. Like, seriously, I pray that she's still out there. But the first people they would rule out would be the family. Absolutely. Caregivers, law care, pool guides. Absolutely. And we did hear that they were supposed to be ruling out all those people. And then you would move to like friends and acquaintances and stuff like that, right? I have a theory. It's not hopeful, but it's about entitlement and not being told no more money. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Simply real. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So I'm just going to turn the volume up a little bit and let's see what's going on outside.
Yeah, grab. And then I got snacks right here.
We're in the dog days of the heat right now. Like we're in the middle of the.
Yeah, one of my moms got me a Walmart pickup order.
That's so nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Also, I was thinking,
That water.
what if the perpetrator, like some people were like, oh, he got it, like, what did he buy at Walmart?
So-
What if he got the stuff at like Goodwill or something? Or bought it off Facebook Marketplace or somewhere like that. Family is involved. That is why there were no. I honestly think somebody was paid to do. But what would make where these cars are involved, right? We understand like a family's car, but like these other people's cars are involved.
Yeah, so that's why I can't drink it.
Mm-hmm. What's that popping noise on there?
Right.
All right, here. I want to go through.
Just gonna sit here and mobilize a minute. None of the reporters are out here except a few that are just none, but some.
Looks like a lot of people left, right? Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know, Teresa.
Yeah, help yourself.
I would really start looking into the people
DNA results are pending.
around her within the past month. I would go to the restaurant that she liked to visit and talk to the waitresses and people that interacted with her.
DNA results are pending.
Oh, DNA results are back. Let's look. Is that what he just said? Let me look and see. I didn't see anything like that. Hold on. I didn't see anything like that.
Mark the Shark. How'd you get the name Mark the Shark?
Shark? Playing poker?
Playing poker? You play poker?
I didn't see anything on the DNA results.
You go like Vegas and stuff?
Mhm.
California? Oh, really?
I agree with that, Teresa. I agree with that 100% because it was on January 30th and they were all playing that game that she loved, right? They definitely need to look into those people. And you know, the one lady who she was supposed to meet for church that day was there as well on January
He has
30th.
been in Tucson. I look up his TikTok. He even has the same color Range Rover in one of his videos. Zach Jagbu. Crystal Gale says.
Or are they still talking about that one guy?
If you want to grab a plate.
Zach?
One of my moms bought me water, snacks.
He was upset when we were talking about him the other night.
So where do we go from here, folks? I'm seeing the comments. I'm kind of engaging with you all a little bit now that I can sit here and see.
Mhm.
Had the rest of the
Because
Big
it was
Mac.
messed
We're
up in the
good.
beginning,
We're
in my
fed.
opinion.
I'm fed. Thank you for the Big Mac.
Yeah. Vicky.
See Mel has all the food. If he wants to come over and get food.
Let me
he
turn this
knows.
down for a minute. That's a real sticky situation right there, right? I did some more looking around last night for properties, and it's just real sticky there. Like, you know, I don't know. I know that there's a power of attorney involved too, but I mean, that's not abnormal for a wife to have a power of attorney over a husband or vice versa. But I do find some things very, very tricky with, I'm just going to say with the abbreviations after his name. That's all I'm going to say. If you were watching last night, you know exactly what I mean. Why though? Like, why take her now?
Where's Annie's car?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kaiko. Q11. Is it still in police custody? It's evidence per Chris on the interview.
Okay, so
it has been taken into evidence. Well, despite sheriff just saying it's a matter of protocol, the vehicle has been taken into evidence.
We don't know if they still have it. We don't know if they still have it. If they still have it, then I find that.
Why would there be?
Very suspect. Stacy, I'm not sure about that.
If Nancy disappeared from this home here, why would Annie and Tommaso's be?
I cannot read that. Yeah, I agree. Peacemaker. Stacy, yeah, I'm
Don't
not.
leave. That's what the sheriff wants. We just saw that comment.
In my opinion, the entire evening was planned as a setup by those entitled people. Don't you find it strange the last people to see her and the first people to discover her missing are the same? I do find it strange. I do find it strange that it only took 2 minutes from him to hold on one second.
Very good solo. Yeah, I do run solo a lot.
Sorry, the dog gets excited when she sees
JLR,
something.
could the masked man's gun be an airsoft gun? Then maybe you not.
All right, let me read your comment again. So in my opinion, the entire evening was planned. Yes, I feel that. Why did it only take 2 minutes? Like, you should have helped her inside or at least made sure she got inside and was safe, especially if she had been drinking. That 2 minute window there. So
you're not going to be able to.
He allegedly was the one to tell the officer that's how long it took her to get inside from his vehicle, which I don't. 2 minutes for an elderly woman who allegedly was drinking tequila and has a cane. It only takes her 2 minutes to get out of the car and would she run inside? Like, there's just something weird. And the church people, right? Like her church friend, she was there January 30th. She was supposed to see her on February 1st. So it's like all those people need to be looked into. in my opinion. So you have the family, right, that saw her last, and then the next people to see her would be her church friends and whoever was in that group. Was there someone new in that group? That's what I want to know. Someone new in that group that was like weaseling their way into her life. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't. Well, I think that it was messed up, and then the sending it to Florida was ridiculous.
The freeway.
Why now? Hey, Justin, good to see you. Getting your shit together. Yeah, I don't have my shit together today at all. I can't believe they can't trace the vehicles that would have come from a radius. Yeah, and to tell you the truth, I think it's ridiculous that their cameras, right? Their security cameras on the light poles don't work. Like, why the hell do you have them? That's ridiculous, right?
That's what the Lord told you. El Paso
I
got more.
on a freeway.
Stacy, I refer my. Oh, you're talking to Stacy. Okay, why now? Exactly. Why now is the biggest question. Something recently was the straw that broke the camel's back. Got mad. A plan paid out, carried out. Exactly. What happened? Why now? Who has come into our life recently? If nobody has, no new acquaintances, no new friends, or old friends that maybe she has known for a long time that maybe had recently come back into her life, right? Or distant relatives, something like that.
Yeah.
I thought the garage door closing gave them time. Yes, so that was Tommaso, we learned, that gave the time range for that, not some kind of timer on the garage. If it was random, there are already elderly people in that.
El Paso.
Yes, I agree, Tony. I do not believe it was random at all. She was targeted. She was targeted. I know. And that's what we got to figure out. Why? Why now? And I really wish that they would release some more video. Vicky,
Where are you from?
I'm from Tucson.
I don't know.
And
I do not know the answer to that. I want to say no, but I don't know for 100%. But it was taken in evidence along with Carlos's phone
When did the Lord
and
tell you that
the gray
went towards
Range Rover.
or I'm sorry,
All of roads lead to Rome, yeah.
On the freeway.
what's on the
Land,
drink?
cash, yeah.
Okay, thanks. Got on the freeway.
I don't believe she's far away. Who is going to like bring along an elderly woman who
What highway
has
takes you
all
east?
these needs?
Interstate 10.
I don't believe a lot of walking was involved
Then I started thinking about what
either, right? You're not hiking with someone that has troubles walking just down to her driveway.
Which is on I-10.
and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
see, I'm all like worked up because
Yeah, because if you pay someone to do it
I'm in
and pay them cash, it's really not, you know what I mean? And if they're professional, or at least somewhat professional, obviously they did a good job of hiding themselves because look how long it's taken them to figure out who it is
No. I'm not
or
showing you.
who they are, right? I think it's more than one person. You're welcome,
So-
Teresa. Yeah, I just don't know for 100%.
Mhm. Open Door Baptist Church.
Let me see something real quick. Is she talking about?
Uh-huh.
No, one second. I wish they had. Yes, and they took Daly's phone too. Absolutely. So they take the vehicle, right, and put it in evidence. They take the phone, but they let them go. So what is that about? I mean, they got arrested for drugs and stuff, but I think the suspects just got lucky because they blundered the investigation in the beginning. They absolutely blundered it like 5,000%. Who did she say no to recently regarding the finances? Yeah, exactly. That's the $1 million question.
She bought food for Brian Enton. Brian Enton got some delivery.
Oh,
Looked like some sort of sandwiches or something.
looks like eggs to me, but I can't freaking see. Let me see something real quick.
So what appears to be happening here, folks, too, is like different streamers and reporters get deliveries by like people.
By people. Hi, Paige. Thank you. I
So,
appreciate you. Hey,
the Lord
Daphne,
told
just got
you
here. We'll catch up on my
Nancy
own.
was
Oh, love
in
you,
El
Paige.
Paso.
Thank you. I love your name. I love that name, Paige. It's so pretty. I want to change my name to Paige. Thanks, lady. I appreciate you.
My husband 4 days after he passed because I asked him.
Did I put JLR's name up here? Okay. Should I feel bad now because I forgot to put it up there? Thanks, Lovey.
Uh-huh.
Hey, he used to call me and say, hey, together a long time. Yeah, I'm married 1970.
Peacemaker, you know, that's been spoken about, but we don't know that 100% either, right? We've heard stories that he's went over to watch the Olympics when it was going on and stuff like that, but
Ever since that,
he's talking to a neighbor, I think.
and I really get, I really get a lot of stuff from him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a wackadoodle.
You're not a wackadoodle?
I agree, Curly Cat. I agree.
I'm just really intense right now because it took all I had to come down here. I've been parked down in the wrong place. I'm probably going to get
Oh,
hauled.
bless your soul. Well, thank you for stopping by and saying hello.
Yeah, it's,
And
yeah, so
maybe she's in El Paso.
I don't see her being out of state
Think she's
either.
gone?
she cried a whole lot.
It's okay, ma'am.
Oh,
She cried a whole lot. So
It's okay, ma'am.
yeah,
JLR so sweet. I
it
think
took a lot to come down here.
entitled people kill.
Thank you so much. Be safe.
I'll be 70 next year, and I'll
Thank
be
you.
70 in August.
Yeah, I see that simply.
I will. Yeah.
You want to come on? Come on in.
Oh, thank you, Peacemaker.
Do you live here?
For now, how are you? Darren, how are you?
Good.
Oh, it's been up there, Bridget. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Darren.
You over here.
Darren, nice to see you out here again. Darren.
Oh, that guy looks familiar, that tall guy. I don't know, I've seen him before.
Yeah.
Probably on YouTube, who knows?
Oh, come on. You can borrow ours.
Oh, no, he's the,
Right now, because of the way the sun is out.
remind me who he is, Darren. Is he running for mayor or something? Or am I wrong here?
It's wonderful.
Well, I'm a multi-media reporter, and I'm the only one. Everybody's in Phoenix. I work for Phoenix, but I'm based in
I'll be all right. Thank you anyway.
Oh, no, you don't want it.
No,
Take it. You
no.
have water in the car.
I do. So, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
I know it probably sounds.
Safe travels.
I
Just breathe.
just, it's just, it's been so much that
Take some
I've,
deep breaths.
that, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm just filled with the spirit right now. Just,
I think it's a neighbor talking to him.
and I got, it's just really.
There are a lot of rumors, Leslie. Absolutely.
Some Mexican style fruit.
So you brought and Brian
I
Enton
don't
some
know,
food?
Texas. I thought he was a mayor or somebody of it.
I mean, you could leave it here, and then if I see Brian Enton, I
Or
can
running
say,
for it or
"Back here
something.
later." You should be back.
All right, here, I want to read this
What do
to
you
you
got? Let me
guys.
see what you got.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me see what
You
you
guys
got.
know what tajin is?
Oh, what's that?
It's a Mexican spice, lemony. and
Oh, I
salty,
love
but
that
it's
stuff. It
really
is
good on
so good.
food.
I put it on chicken.
And here's some fruit for you.
I put it on chicken, that spice.
Well, no, it's for Brian Enton, so we're gonna save
It's
it
for you guys too.
No, you don't know.
Oh, all right. I want to read this to you guys real quick. It just came out by NBC. Here, let me. Gosh, I thought he was talking to a neighbor, but I guess not. In my honest opinion, whoever did this has inside knowledge or information. I agree. I agree. All right, guys, listen. So this just came out by NBC, and I'm just going to read this to you. It's about the genetic genealogy brings promise and challenges to the Nancy Guthrie case. Says investigators are hopeful that some of the DNA that was found at Guthrie's home can be parsed and help point to a suspect in her disappearance. Goes on to say this seemingly, what does it say? Oh my gosh, I'm reading the wrong. Okay. Investigators in the Nancy Guthrie case hope that science can point to a suspect, but there are challenges. Guthrie, 84-year-old mother of today, co-host Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing on February 1st. Do you notice when they mention Nancy's name in any of these articles, they only say mother of Today co-host Savannah Guthrie. They don't mention the other two children. Do you notice that? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyways, it says was reported missing on February 1st. It has been 3 agonizing weeks since her disappearance, and authorities haven't identified a suspect or person of interest. Officials have cleared the Guthrie family as potential suspects, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said. It goes on to say Nanos, whose agency is leading the investigation along with the federal and state partners, said last week that a mixed and partial DNA was found at the Guthrie's home. Mixed DNA is a forensic sample that has more than one person's genetic material, obviously, right? It goes on to say some of the DNA that was found at the home doesn't belong to Guthrie, her family, or anyone who worked at the residence. Okay. So if the DNA doesn't belong to her family, right, or anyone who worked at the residence, could the DNA belong to any of the people that came over on January 30th for her birthday party, right? Could it belong to any of them? Have they been like tested or anything? Has their DNAs been tested to rule out them completely, right? Because they should be. I would be at the sheriff's station telling them, hey, here's my DNA, rule me out. That way you can find your suspect quicker. Anyways, it goes on to say, we believe that we may have some DNA there may be our suspect, but we won't know that until the DNA is separated, sorted out, maybe admitted to CODIS. Maybe through genetic genealogy, Nanos said Tuesday, referring to the combined DNA index system, the FBI's DNA database of convicted criminals. But on Friday, he told NBC News the lab that received the DNA reports challenges with the sample. He did not elaborate on what the challenges are. Oh, my gosh, he's a challenge in himself. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It goes on to say, we listen to our lab, and our lab tells us that there's challenges with it, and we understand those challenges. What does that even mean? But our lab also knows that the technology is moving so fast and in such a frenzy that they think some of the stuff will resolve itself just in a matter of weeks, months, or maybe a year. That's crazy, a year. I think he's bluffing there. To allow them to do better with, say, a mixture of that kind of thing, he said. Why does the sheriff talk in riddles? Anyways, Nanos said he's hopeful the samples will get to a point where they can be submitted for investigative genetic genealogy or entered into CODIS, but we're not there yet. It goes on to say the sheriff's department said in a statement Saturday, as with biological evidence, there can be challenges separating DNA, etc. There are currently no updates regarding this process. And it says investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG for short, is a process in which unidentified DNA evidence is turned into digitized DNA profile, obviously. It is entered into ancestry databases to find relatives, build family trees, and narrow down the person behind the DNA. It has been used to solve long cold cases, identifying unknown victims as well as killers. And we know it was in the Brian Koberger case. It says the issue Nanos mentioned could be with the DNA sample itself or with the investigative genetic genealogy process, said Barbara Ray Venter, a genetic genealogist who helped solve the case of the Golden State Killer in 2018 using this technique. She said the sheriff's comments suggesting the DNA ratio has too high of a proportion of a victim DNA. What? Let me read that over again. She said the sheriff's comments suggest the DNA ratio has too high a proportion of victims' DNA. Okay, so there's too much of Nancy's in there, right? It says an American genetic genealogist said when it comes to mixed DNA, the suspect has to be the major contributor. Okay, so I see. So you have the suspect's DNA and then you have Nancy's DNA, right? But say there's probably 90% Nancy's and 10% the suspects. That's what I'm understanding. So they're trying to separate it and get just the suspects. It says, suppose you have a mix. Oh, I just explained that, so I'm not going to read what they're saying. I literally just explained it, and they said the same thing. That's so funny. Anyways, they said the 10%, that might not be enough for the lab to go forward and get enough markers and make the identification. If it's 50-50, it's hard to separate. You can separate that probably only, or also the question is not only separate. Do you have enough DNA to work with anyways? Because when you send your DNA into like 23andMe or whatever, you have to have you have to fill it up like a lot of your saliva and stuff. Says the lab that authorities are believed to be using in the Guthrie case did not respond to requests for comment. I'm going to post this link in chat. So if you guys want to read that, give me 1 second. I'll post it right here in chat if you guys want to check that out. There we go. Yeah, it is very interesting, Jen. Very interesting. Do you guys see that link? That's the link to that. Yeah, the sheriff needs to go home. I thought that was interesting, though. So they got to try to separate Nancy's DNA from the perpetrators. They got to have enough of it to be able to. Why did they just send it to the freaking CODIS? I heard the ransom letters came into the sheriff's office. I heard that the ransom letters came into the sheriff's office and that the department sent them to TMZ. I think that has it. What? I've never heard that, Paige. I've never heard that they came into the sheriff's office and they heard the ransom letters came to the sheriff's office. Why would the sheriff's office send them to TMZ? What? If they did that, that's crazy. No, I think TMZ actually got the
Conversation was over.
Sending some of it to Daphne's email. That episode was so interesting. Are you talking about the one with Ashley, right, guys?
It's the Fox team.
It is very interesting. I don't know how you split DNA. I think you got to put it in a solution, and then you've got to, I don't know, probably look it under the microscope and then pull it apart, I guess. Like, is it blood and blood? Is it saliva and saliva? Is it skin and skin? Is it fluids and fluids? Like, I hate to even think of that, right? What do you guys think it is?
Sheriff Nanos excused himself from the governor's border task force, Operation Desert Guardian, saying he doesn't need another task force.
Bless you.
Now, thank you. Now Mexico is on fire, and we're a border county, and Nanos has already proved himself to be an inept clown. Do you feel safe in Pima County?
That's from the Pima GOP.
The Pima GOP.
Official.
Yeah, I think so too, Stace. It's ridiculous. I want to ask you guys a question. Hold on, mute this. So what do you think the kind of DNA the lab has? So they just said in that article, right, the one I posted in the link, they said they have the perpetrator. Well, it sounded like they had combined, they said 2 people. So I don't know if they have 2 people plus Nancy's together, or do they have just one other person and Nancy's together? So it didn't really, Nano said it sounded like it had 2 other people and then nothing of Nancy's, which is ridiculous. But in this article I just read, it said that had more of Nancy's DNA than the perpetrator. So do you think it's touch DNA? Do you think it's like say they got it off of a doorknob, right? But the perpetrator was wearing gloves. So how would they get touch DNA unless it could have been saliva, right? He had the bite light in his mouth. Could he have taken the bite light out and totally like disregarded that, hey, and had saliva on his glove from the bite light, say take it out, put it in your freaking pocket, right? And touch the doorknob. You're going to have Nancy's touch DNA on the doorknob, and then you're going to have the perpetrator's saliva on there. What do you think it could be? Do you think blood or fluids, or just like, I don't think it's fingerprints from the guy. There was blood in the house, yes. And the blood was like the same type of droplets like the outside, like what we saw on the outside of the home. Can I show, hold on one second. See if I can show this real quick on top of this video. I need to play around with this StreamYard thing. I'm not really good at it. Top of here. How do I add it like with the background of the video? Oh, you can't do that. Okay, that sucks. I don't know how Justin did that yesterday, where you can add. So these blood droplets here, which this one like on the larger droplet, it looks like where someone coughed up blood, right? Because it splatters. But they said the blood droplets here looked identical to the ones inside. That's interesting, right? You think it's from the bite light? Yeah. Here, let me add this here. I added the stage. Come on. There we go. It's interesting, right? Bite light spit. Yeah. So we think maybe it was like they didn't even think. Like, imagine, like, how stupid, right? You're dressed with like several pairs of gloves. You've obviously got some type of uniform underneath your jacket and all that, so you don't leave any DNA behind. Like, it looks like this person prepared well, so they didn't leave any type of DNA behind. But yet, even the vehicle that you're riding in, there could be a hair, right? A hair from you or somebody else in the vehicle that takes a hitchhikes on your clothes, and then just so happens to fall off in her house too. So in the doormat, I know, what the freaking hell? Why hasn't the doormat been picked up? That's crazy to me, right? I think Nancy and one of the perps DNA mixed saliva from on the glove and DNA. Yeah, that could be, absolutely. Could absolutely be blood or saliva. Blood, yeah, blood. So I don't think that they see, for them to think that she was still alive in the beginning, obviously they don't think that she was shot, right? So she had to have been maybe hit, maybe with something. Hi, Jeanette. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So she had to have been hit with something, in my opinion.
We could feel important.
Maybe fell.
Oh, we got a whole media studio now. Look at our media studio. We're expanding. We're expanding operations. Look at this. Holy smokes, we got a whole studio out here now. Look. We're expanding operations.
And cones too.
Oh my goodness.
1 and 4 cones, man.
Very grateful.
The heck are they doing?
Dude, they gave us chairs and tables and everything. Man, what's going on here?
It's like they're having like a yard sale out there. Hi,
It's the
Joyous.
upgraded
Good to
version.
see you.
Let's just keep the tent there. Maybe
Yes, she was
expand
on
over
blood
there.
thinners. Absolutely, Jen. She
Why don't you
definitely
go over
was.
there. Put the tent up.
The one on the outside of the door looks like she had stood up. Here, you know what? Let's go. Give me 1 second. I want to take you to something. Can you guys hear me?
Streamers Row. It's gonna be streamers out here. Like, for
If you
days
can still
covering
hear
this
me,
game.
put a
I
1 in
don't
the
know, man.
chat.
I have faith that News Nation and Fox is gonna stay here for a while.
They said they were.
They said they were gonna be here. I talked to one that's, I'm not gonna say who. They said they're gonna be here in the next week, right outside here.
You can still hear me, Jen?
Well, what's gonna happen is they're gonna break something.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll have to collectively decide if we want to
Okay.
move over there tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's depending on.
I didn't know if you can hear me when I take myself off screen. That's pretty
It looks
cool.
pretty cool over there.
Yay.
But we would
Thank
be
you, guys.
facing the
Thank you.
street, though. We could face that way.
Thank you.
What do you think?
Miss
I don't know, we
Joyce,
can
hi.
move over there.
Or we can have both.
We could have both. Yeah.
Hi, Tina
Really,
Kent. Good to
both.
see you.
Two
Lucy, good to
centers.
see you.
More
Kitty, hi,
streamers
good to
row.
see you.
Streamers, 2 command centers, both sides of the street. Yeah, we could put the tarp up. You want to put the tarp up? And have a two.
I would be
Yeah, let's keep
going
both.
to where she went out to dinner all the time.
Squatters' rights.
I would be trying to figure out what was her last steps.
Squatters' rights. Yeah, let's
Hi,
do
Miss
both. Yeah,
Joyce.
we
I
might
hope
just
you're
do
doing
both.
well today, hon.
You want the booth? Want the booth? Free booth?
What do you say? Squatters, right?
Yeah. Now we
Let's
need to
do
get like a
this real-
generator.
I want to do something.
Also, like, I was thinking about getting a porta potty.
Oh yeah.
out
Oh
here.
my gosh.
The neighbors would love that.
That would be crazy.
We had a guy drive by, one of those real fast bikers.
ABC
and he
leaving.
yelled- And he yelled.
He's putting the
something,
tarp up.
Real nasty when he drove by.
I want to
Mark's
play
putting the
something
tarp
for you
up.
guys.
Mark the shark.
Where's this? Nancy.
Order flowers for Nancy. We did our flowers for Nancy. I mean, it's our booth now, or anyone's booth. You said anyone could stake claim to it. It's all yours if you want it.
Mm.
Tucson, that'd be a good one for you when everyone leaves. You could take that with you.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's-
good for your
I'll take
streaming
it.
and everything like that. Once you leave,
Wow.
Mark the Shark's grabbing everything. Mark the Shark's like,
Yeah, you got a room.
you
in
got the
truck?
pickup truck, right? The back.
Clean up a little bit, you know. for-
Yeah, it's clean up.
Here, I want to do something real quick.
Nice. Got Streamers Row.
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Hope your weather is better today for everybody. We're having crazy weather.
Well, with
I
the
keep
sun's
thinking
over
somebody's
there.
outside because
I think we should
the
use
wind is
both.
blowing the gate
We'll
around.
put up the tarp later.
All right, I'm going to take you over here. Let's give JLR a break for a minute. Thank you, JLR. And we're going to go over here real quick. This lady is amazing. Did you guys catch this last night? Someone suggested go to hairdresser. That's, yeah. Oh, 14. Yeah. Yeah, because the wind, right, Pam? And that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. They need to follow her last steps. They need to get a list, right, of everybody that was in her presence within the past. Well, I would start with the week and then eliminate them and then go to the second week and start eliminating. Yeah, hairdresser is a really good idea. All right, I watched this some last night and then the rest today, and it is so good. And I just want to, I don't know if you guys seen this, but it's so good. Oh, you guys are so lucky, Bridget. I think she was hit when was turned into a nosebleed. Yeah, that could be. You're a retired ER nurse, so then you would know. Yeah, Justin and I were talking about it, and he said nose, and I was thinking maybe she coughed up because of the way in that one part it looked like it splattered a little bit. It's really amazing how they can tell which way the blood comes from by just how it splatters from on the ground.
Kind of do a wider perimeter.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think this is
Somebody has to get in the house. Somebody had to get in the house to do this.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so-
to answer your question about the garage,
there was no
people are saying
area
that
broken.
you can use either an app. I honestly don't know anyone that uses an app for their garage. I know everyone that has the button on their rear view mirror that you can program a number of doors for wherever that you're going. Also, the really small clickers that are only about this big. That's the kind I like to have because it fits in my purse. And so I spoke with my tech guy in my company, and he is a world-class expert in everything that deals with anything electronic. And he said that he doesn't know the make and model of this garage door opener. However, garage door openers, as a general rule, can be programmed to work with an app and also without an app. So you can have a push button, have your pass-through door or walk into your garage and press that button. And depending on how it's configured, that may or may not cause a log. If you have it configured to log every time that door opens, it'll tell you. And in that instance, your phone will only register, will have a log of openings and closings, but they'll only be able to identify you as a person if you're using the app. So the other ones could be not anonymous, but you may not be able to tell who went in. And that goes for keypads also.
Sure.
So
Thank
could you be someplace else and just hit that app and then the garage door would open up too? Right?
Yes.
So, well, yeah, I mean, the
Oh,
fact
that's
that we
interesting.
we have 2 data points here to Maureen's, conversation. The first one is 9:48 p.m.
High finding summer.
And this has been kind of a curveball, for me for the last, 10 days or whatever it's been, 22 days. And allegedly the garage door shows activation. And then the statement connected to that activation from the sheriff is kind of, a mixed bag of nuts.
Yes.
Either she was dropped off by the brother-in-law,
Last
right?
person to see her.
Right.
or excuse me, her son-in-law, or by her son-in-law and her daughter. And then he kind of pulled that back and he said, well, no, it was the son-in-law. And then as Maureen pointed out in a press conference, when the FBI agent looked over at him, he goes, you could tell there was this hesitation. Where are we going to go with this? And the sheriff says, well, let's just go, let's say it was, go with the family, basically. And it's like, well, that was weird. So
It was very weird.
yeah, I mean, it just, right? DLR
weird.
doesn't look right, right? Okay,
Weird.
so then the next data point that we have is 9:50. So it's a 2-minute garage doors open, garage doors close. And that caused all kinds of, conversations with everybody. Well, did he go in? Did he stay out? And then
How did she
the
make
very
it in
first
that
press
quick?
conference he gave out on the curb in the evening, he was asked specifically by a journalist, did the family go inside? And he kind of, got caught broadside for a moment.
I'm going to pause it right there because remember the article that I read you guys the other day, right? That was like quoting the sheriff or whatever. And then we went and played the first press conference. And something that caught my eye was that he said that the neighbor, right? First we thought he called a neighbor, right? But she actually lives 7 miles away. It's not a neighbor. Well, I don't consider 7 miles away a neighbor, in my opinion. A neighbor is someone that lives like close to you and you're by your house, right? Your vicinity of your house, not 7 miles away. So this person, he was making it seem like she called, right? But then the article said that she went over there. And I'm like, what the heck? But in his statement, he like plays with words, the sheriff does. And then he turns around and says something completely different. Hi, Wendy, good to see you, which is so confusing to me. So did this friend go over there and then call the family to come help search? Like, what the hell, right? And then why did he change his statement about the night before? You know, we heard that she took an Uber over there, which is very costly. Why the hell didn't they just pick her up? I mean, maybe she wanted to take an Uber. We don't know. So they checked out the Uber guy and they said he was fine, right? And then they all played that family game and stuff is what we were told. We were never told what they had for dinner or anything like that. Usually people will, make a statement and say, yeah, we played games. We watched a movie. This is what we had for dinner. Nothing like that. Other than Tommaso drove her home that night, and it took her 2 minutes to exit the car and go inside and close the garage door. I thought that was very strange because, like I said earlier, if she had been drinking, allegedly, right, and she has a cane with her, do you think her cane is in the back seat? Like, aren't you going to get out of the car for your mother-in-law who has a hard time walking, and especially if she's been drinking, get out of the car, walk around to her side, grab her cane, right? Have it ready for her so you can help her out of the car and help her walk in, right? And then you close the garage door behind her. Even some people would go inside and even check her doors and stuff and make sure she's all locked in for the night, right? Wouldn't you do that? I don't know. That's just me, I guess. I don't know.
And he goes, yeah. Okay.
Is that the one where he said
Yeah.
they went in to make sure she was settled and then left? And
Yeah, but
I
even
started
so-
banging on that right then, saying that's not possible. An 84-year-old woman in a walker getting
Mhm.
through the garage, up those 2 stairs or whatever,
There
and
you go.
into her residence.
There you go.
Just doing that and getting out to
Yeah,
your car is
not right.
impossible. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought,
I agree, Paige.
what if they went in through the garage, closed the door when they got her up and in there, and then left through the front door or the back door and forgot to lock it?
There you go.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Anything on
Maybe he did help her inside, and maybe he did go through the back door and forget to lock it, and then feels bad that something happened. Do you think that could have happened? And he just feels bad that happened and regrets it? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, even if he pulled up to the garage, right? So if you're pulling up, he would have to back up for Nancy's door to be on the same side of the garage. Do we think he backed up? I don't know. Yeah, Jen, I don't think so either. Yeah, the sheriff is definitely not transparent, Teresa, at all. So think about it. Just picture in your head. Picture Tommaso driving Nancy home that night, right? What is it? 4.7 miles or something from their house. He gets into the neighborhood. He pulls straight, right? You can go straight or you can curve around to the front door. Pull straight. His door, his side of it would be the driver's side facing the garage door. So she would have to walk around the car, right, to get in through the garage. Does he have a clicker too, or does she just have a clicker? I'm sorry, but it takes more than 2 freaking minutes. Yeah, it takes more than 2 minutes to do that.
just to in our conversation to that point, because I think the elephant in the living room is coming up here, right? The elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 1:47, we're all aware that the Nest doorbell camera disconnects. We have the video of the guy,
Yeah.
Leaf Man or whoever he thinks he is up there. And then at 2:12, this is kind of just a random concept that was presented out there by the sheriff.
Exactly.
Another
Paige.
data point,
Yeah.
2:12 a.m., a person is seen on a camera. but he doesn't tell us any more than that. He just kind of floats it out there. And then he says they couldn't get that data because it was in a server and that it didn't go up to the cloud.
Then it didn't go up to the cloud. And that's the thing, Wendy. That's the thing that is still floating, right? He said, and it's so confusing what this sheriff said. Did this friend, I don't even call her a neighbor because she lives 7 miles away. I looked up the information today. So I don't want to post it online because I'm not going to, you know what I mean? But did this friend go over to Nancy's that day and check on her? Did she call to see like, hey, where are you at? Where are you at? No answer from Nancy. So she drove over there. I mean, 7 miles is not that far, right? It's not that far. So did she drive over there to check on Nancy and then call the family? Or did she just call the family when Nancy wasn't answering her phone, right? So I would like to know that. And then also, when you get to the house, right, the back door was we were told that it was open. The back door was open, but there was no forced entry. Like there was nothing broken, nothing like that, other than the light was broken on the side. But not the doors. The garage door wasn't jarred open. The front, you know what I mean? So did they notice the back door open, or did they go straight through the garage and then see the blood and stuff in the house? Like, I'm curious. I'm really curious about that.
So that's kind of a confusion. And then, right. And jump in at any time, you guys. Don't worry about stepping over me if you have a thought.
Bye, Kel. Have a good day, honey.
2:28, Nancy's pacemaker disconnects from her watch, from her Apple Watch. So from 2:12 to 2:28, we have that, whatever it is, 16 minutes approximately. And then 11 a.m., she doesn't show up for church. So he jumps right to 11 a.m.
Is it real, Kitty? Is it a real?
And 11:56, it jumps to the family goes to check on Nancy.
Absolutely, Tony.
The family, yes.
It takes me more than 2 minutes to
goes
get out of the car.
Nancy.
And I'm half her age.
But we don't have a data point if they utilized the garage. Did they go through the front door? Did they go around the back? Did they go through the sliders now? That did somebody jump over that pony wall to check on mom through the slider?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. We definitely know there is no, as Maureen pointed out, there is no signs of forced entry that has, one, been made public, and two, that you can see based on the drone footage and what the news and all these other, news outlets are putting out there. So that's kind of a, it's kind of a mystery, but
yes. So she did a couple of times, Lucy. She did a couple times. But this isn't recent. This was like in, gosh, I'd have to look it up. I have it somewhere. I think within the past like 10 years, but I don't know when her husband passed. The house should be paid off. I believe they bought it in 1975, right? I'm sure it was paid off. The house was. So she might have just did but why would she? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she did fix the home up or something. I'm not sure. But she did. Yes.
I would have expected if it's her habit
gave
pattern,
a loan to
and
somebody.
You guys tell me what you're thinking. If she's the passenger the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Does the son-in-law have a clicker in his car? That would make sense. That could be a possibility.
Calls up. I
Does he
agree.
have the
They're
app?
great.
That could be a possibility as well.
Yeah,
but does
Bridget,
mom
I
have
agree.
the app as well? I don't know. Or does she have a clicker that she carries with her because she took?
I'm going clicker, Chris. I'm going clicker all the way.
I agree. I think so, Emily.
Okay, so if mom's got the
time,
clicker in her
that sounds
purse, it makes sense. They're pulling up to the house, click, the garage door goes up.
Yeah.
And now, 2 minutes, I'm with you.
See?
I'm having a hard time saying,
You think the
okay,
same too, guys.
get out, get your cane, walk yourself into the house,
Did he
make
pass
sure,
away that long ago?
you'll
Shit.
see you at church tomorrow. But
You're gonna be careful.
go ahead, Gary, jump in.
Well, two things. One is, and I know it sounds far-fetched, but from the angle of logic, we have no choice but to put it on the table, is that technically speaking, just because somebody's blood and some foreign DNA are at this house does not mean that whatever fate befell her happened at that house. I am aware of many, many cases involving sophisticated staging where something happens to somebody in one location and then you go and put some blood and enter the home and leave your DNA that way elsewhere. I think it's improbable, but it is possible technically, which is interesting to think about. The other thing is there's something confusing about the mismatch of different psychologies that seem to be going on here, because whoever did this did something that seemed to involve some inner knowledge, was very comfortable there for a period of time, right? Didn't seem
that's interesting, Lisa.
particularly worried about capture or anything like that. Yeah, that's very, very cozy, right? And has gotten away with this, right? Left very little, material. But then at the same time, the person that we see on the video is like amateur hour.
Eugene, that's
dressed in a
interesting.
ridiculous outfit that looks like a concoction thrown together with things from around the house and Walmart, whatever. The holster that doesn't.
Here, the holster. Oh shoot, did I touch that? Oh God. Hold on, guys. Shit, we were right there, right? Yes, that's interesting, Eugene, because maybe the person that dropped her off that night went into the home, got into a conflict with the mom, hurt the mom, called the helper to come and take out the cameras, make sure it looked like. See, it could be something like that, but I think that they probably checked the phone of the son-in-law. They probably checked his phone to see his where, you know what I mean, to see where it was pinging off the cell phone towers. Like if he said, when he told them, 2 minutes, right? When I dropped her off, garage door open, garage door closed, and I left, right? That's what we're assuming. That's what happened. So they would go back and check the cell phone towers and check to see if his phone pinged to go back to his home, right? I mean, was there somebody else in the vehicle with him? Maybe, perhaps. And then allegedly that's a good. Oops, I keep touching the wrong buttons. Hold on 1 second.
Important about the personality is the post-offense behavior.
Absolutely.
Whoever did this is going to be doing something that somebody is going to find a little strange.
Hi, Marie. Thank you, honey.
Is your neighbor going to the store and buying lots of equipment that you would need to take care of an elderly person? Are they buying too much food? Are they going to the asking people if they
fast forwarded it too much here. So the neighbor, right?
Set a program.
But the woman that she was supposed to see Sunday morning is not a neighbor. She lives seven miles away.
Work with, LAPD or whoever to help them with their crime scene analysis and collection. But we also have more bodies that can, like if you look at let's just take LAPD. When you look at their evidence teams, they're just worked like dogs. I mean, morning, noon, and night, from case to case to case to case to case. I don't even know how they keep it all straight. Whereas we can go in and say, hey, instead of 2 people at this scene, with a supervisor, like, let's go, everyone's waiting at that next call, we can show up with a dozen people and a plan and just take our time and do everything. And then we turn it over to those other agencies. So if you're out there and you have a complicated case, people, we don't come in and take over, as you can see from this case. Although I would say right now the FBI is running this case. I would say, because Nanos just looks like he just aged 47 years in the last 21 days.
Yeah, I mean, we hammered the politics behind the scenes. It's like, I don't think the public really understands that. He's dug in, and it'll sort itself out. Let's put it that way, because I think all of us are on the same page here it's not the field agents, it's not the case agents who are
Not the
running this.
detectives.
Yeah,
Not
no,
the patrol
everybody's
officer.
working together. They're high-fiving each other. Hey, by golly, we just, impounded a Range Rover. Okay, tag it, bag it, let's
Right.
move it.
Or hey,
Yeah.
I've got an idea. I just woke up this morning and I was
Okay, so Texas. So remember there was 2 women yesterday, right? And what you're talking about, they had went on the property with some type of, like, I don't know, remember what it was called. It's like it's something used, I think, in plumbing or something. Anyways, she was like poking holes in the ground and then like smelling the dirt and stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about? It was 2 women, and they kicked them off the property because she was on the actual neighbor that lives right next door to her, who does the gym and mineral shows, that has the blue tarp in the front of the house. That's why they kicked them out, because they were trespassing on the neighbor's property, on Nancy's property. They were literally like digging in the ground on the neighbor's property. Yeah. That's crazy, right? Yeah, I thought that was nuts. Is that what you're talking about? Yes. Yep. And they told them that, they told them they can't come back. They trespassing or something like that. And then they told the other searches they need permits.
thinking about A, B, C, and D, and the other person's like,
Mhm.
dude, that's awesome. That's just
Yes,
what I was
Jen.
missing when
Yes.
I was thinking down this thread or whatever. We
Yep.
love, we're all brothers and sisters in blue
That's it.
Mhm.
or tan.
And the public, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the problem is, and I talked to Karen, who was a journalist. I brought her over from the dark side. I always tease her, but
Dark side.
she's so funny. She and she says,
Mhm.
the whole story shifting to the fight, because there's not enough news going on out here. So
Yeah.
they're shifting to the feds and the perception of that, who needs this, who needs that. And I said, yeah, I know, but we've been there, done that, and we all know what the reality is on the ground. And then the association jumps in, the president of the association, and next thing you know, there's the politics side of things. And I just think that's such a disservice professionally to Nancy,
Too.
that
Me
everybody
too.
needs to take a deep breath. If you're listening out there, we get you. We understand what's going on. But at the same time, keep pressing forward. Don't get lost in this stuff over here.
Well,
Go ahead, Gary. We're almost at an hour and a half, which I promised
okay.
I would be at an hour and a half. But if you guys want to keep moving here,
This
I've
is
got a
interesting
lot of
what they're about to
questions
say.
that are sitting over in the in basket over here. And Dr. Ann, how are you doing with your snowstorm up there in Gary?
Oh, it's coming. I don't know. Gary is seeing it first. How much have you got down there?
Pretty bad.
And Maureen,
Oh.
you took off. You're giving us your
Mhm.
time because you've been sick, and I feel horrible about that piece of the
It's
puzzle.
okay.
But
You can see how red my face is from my,
Is it?
but it's a low grade fever. I'll be fine.
Well, I'm loving this panel. I could sit here all day because I think
I know.
you get a bunch of smart people together, and it's amazing where the conversation goes. And you wind up with points that just aren't being arrived at, elsewhere. And I think it's great. So what I was going to say is I've always been very interested in court cases where
Oh,
the
that's
jury
interesting.
gets divided. Half of them see the accused one way and the other half see them another way, right? Oh, he's a victim. No, he's a monster, that kind of thing.
Huh.
And that tends to happen when somebody has a personality disorder. Okay. So they're fragmenting themselves and showing one part to one part of the world, another part to another part of the world. What's interesting is the fragmentation
It is a freaking
that's
mess.
going on in law enforcement.
I've got something
here
interesting to show you in a minute.
seems to me to reflect a fragmentation that is
Find it
probably
here.
going on in somebody involved. My sense is that somewhere in this story is somebody who has a mask that is shown to the public and a secret other side.
Yep.
And what you see is this splitting that goes on around them. You see, and it can get, and I've seen it many times where it gets manifested as fragmentation in the law enforcement reaction too. because is this kind of thing where people are sort of getting sucked into one way of seeing somebody as opposed to another. And I can't help but think that whatever went on here, if it had to do with attention, if it had to do with knocking somebody out of the way for money, if it had to do with abduction, assault, whatever, in every case, you got to be dealing with somebody who's got some kind of aberrant personality. Now, the reason that matters is because people who have aberrant personalities don't develop them the day before a crime. There's going to be a history in such an individual. They've been in trouble before. They're hot-headed. People don't like them. They have grudges. They privately threaten you, and in public, they look like a really nice person. Whoever is involved behind the scenes here is going to have a history of living that kind of fragmented existence. The other thing that's really important about the personality is the post-offense behavior.
Absolutely.
Whoever did this is going to be doing something that somebody's going to find a little strange. Is your neighbor going to the store and buying lots of equipment that you would need to take care of an elderly person? Are they buying too much food? Are they going to the asking people if they happen to use a certain medication and have some extra left? Are they acting weirdly? Are they looking at too much?
I don't think anybody's.
Are they not making eye contact with you when they used to just run their gibbers for an hour every time saw you in the driveway?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
So I think the post-offense behavior is going to be really important here for the public to sort of sniff out who's.
I got to show you guys
here.
something.
Now, let me be clear. I think it's very, very important.
Hi, Robin. Good to see you. Good to see you.
To emphasize again.
All right, I'm gonna pause it there for a minute because I got something to show you guys. Give me 1 second. This is a new information. Hold on. Yep. So this is something new now. Yep. The sheriff. Give me 1 second. All right, let me read this to you. Actually, maybe I could just play the video.
22 days, thousands of tips, and still no sign of Nancy Guthrie.
Today, members of the public tried to take their search into their own hands. Fox 10's Taylor Wirtz joins us live in Tucson with the details. Taylor, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, Brian and Ashley. Our crew talked today with a group up here from Mexico up here for a volunteer-led search for evidence. They were up here for several hours. They did find a backpack and a black glove separately a few miles from the home. Worth noting, of course, that backpack, it does not appear to be the one seen in the surveillance video, but deputies did take it from them. A few of those volunteers, though, were actually seen here in front of Nancy's home, poking around in her front yard, and several deputies showed up afterwards looking to speak with them. Now, the Pima County Sheriff's Department did issue a statement yesterday on these volunteer-led searches, asking people to give investigators
in the neighbor's
space to do
yard,
their work,
right there.
saying it's best left to the professionals. But that didn't stop the group of mostly women from coming out here today. PCSD detectives were back in Nancy's neighborhood yesterday, canvassing as part of the investigation. Crews placed barricades here on Nancy's street to make it a one-way road to deal with all the traffic due to media and law enforcement in the area. We know PTSD has collected multiple gloves near Nancy's home and is analyzing them, and all evidence from the crime scene and search warrants have been submitted for analysis. Lab experts are working through that, and the sheriff has said that with any case, there can be challenges separating that DNA. Now, we know that the FBI has received more than 21,000 tips in this case, and the reward for information is now up to $200,000. Some of that funded by private donors. But you can just tell that in this neighborhood, people are still waiting for answers. As we drove through here today, I saw so many.
Pause it right there for a minute. See this blue tarp, guys? Do you see that? So that is the next door neighbor's property, right? This is the neighbor who has like the long blonde or white hair, whatever. He's the one that does the rock and mineral show, right? And would you know that Annie's into that as well, like jewels and stuff like that? She actually has a shop close by to that place, the rock and mineral, where they do the shows. And one of the biggest shows of the year when they do that is in January. So it just happened not too long ago. And that blue tarp, what I was talking about, I don't know what that is. I don't know why that he has a blue tarp out there, but it's been out there for a couple of years, it looks like, because when you look on Google Earth, it's out there as well from last year. So just wanted to add that in.
Many mailboxes with yellow ribbons tied on them. Those match the yellow flowers and cards we've seen at this memorial set up in front of Nancy's home. All of those being a symbol for hope that she'll be found. Live in Tucson, Taylor Wirtz, Fox 10 News.
All right, Taylor. Yes, fingers crossed. Thanks for the update tonight as we enter the 4th week, if I'm not mistaken, in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Stay with Fox 10 for the latest developments on air and online. You can scan the QR code on your screen or log onto our website anytime, fox10phoenix.com.
Yeah, so she was on they were on the neighbor's property. They probably don't know, right? They don't know probably that you're not supposed to. They're looking for her, obviously. And they're doing it the way they know how, in my opinion. But unfortunately, you can't go on people's property. I just find it quite coincidental that that Annie's into the jewels, and so is this guy. Let's see. There's something else I wanted to show you too that's really interesting. I'm going to pull this up for you. It's a video of Mob Crew did this. Give me 1 second. He posted it on X, and I want to show you this video.
On February 1st, just before 2 a.m. in Tucson, Arizona, an intruder would break into the home of Nancy Guthrie and abduct her. But did this person act alone? In a previous video I put out, I showed how there were signs of a second intruder lurking in the background, seen here. But in today's video, I'm going to show even more proof that I believe a second intruder was seen on camera.
He's good with video, like I'm good with that.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You are now watching The Mob Crew.
Tucson again tonight. Tonight, with the search for Nancy Guthrie now entering its 3rd week, and with the country still praying she's found, her daughter Savannah is making a direct appeal to the person who took her mother. 2 weeks of pain evident on Savannah's face.
I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late.
Consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home. And we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. Time we assume that Nancy's home. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m. The doorbell camera.
Yeah, I know Elevate, right?
At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. 2:28, Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. It discovers her missing, and at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
On February 10th, FBI Kash Patel would release 3 images, shown here. But when comparing the still image to the video, we can see that this person had a gun. So the big question is, was this the same intruder, taken from the same night? And if so, when? And here's my theory on why that is. Here is a short video by Megan Kelly, who did
Watch this. Watch. Okay, Megan, I've installed the Nest doorbell camera on our door to.
What's interesting is it comes with a little tab, just a little flat tab, almost like a tip of a screwdriver, really. And that's how you remove it from the top. So you just push down and it clicks right off.
Handle the Nest camera, it moved its view later.
There it goes. Here.
Yeah, but
and you'll see this plate looks exactly like the one that you see on the house at Nancy Guthrie's house and all the news videos. So it's the same model. And to put it back.
Question. I just want to question. Do you think that this perpetrator knew how to take the Nest cam off? Did he have Nancy remove the Nest cam later on? Is that how her blood got out on the front porch? Because you could see that perpetrator puts their hand over there and then they're trying to cover it and go grab like this foliage, right? And you know when like a leaf or a tree or something blows in front of your camera, it's going to say motion. But if it spots a person, it's going to say person detected. So it makes me wonder, did they put the foliage there because they didn't know how to remove the camera at first? And then they just had her remove it, like making her remove it, right? By force. And that's how her blood got out on the front porch. I don't know. Just something to think about.
Back, you just click it on the base. The question is, how do you get it off without the tab? And I was excited because you said we could smash this if we wanted to and we'd pay for it. But you don't need to do that. You actually, just with a little bit of force, you can pull it right off.
Okay.
And the base is still there, undamaged. And actually, this camera is still recording. So if I take this and throw it or put it in my bag, it's still going to be recording for a little bit longer. So I got to think there's still video of that they haven't recovered that might show a different angle of things that we haven't seen. There's no evidence that it was damaged on the front porch. So my guess is it was just taken out of Wi-Fi range, and that's why it disconnected. Or they could have turned her Wi-Fi off. But
so remember how I mentioned that the still image versus the video seemed off, where we can see that the archway and the tile on the floor do not line up, shown here.
No, that's interesting, Jen.
The FBI. Now here they are in the order I believe they happen, and pay close attention. So we have the still image that I believe came first, where I believe they first attempted to take the camera down but was unsuccessful. Then we have the intruder coming back with more tools, but this video is very short. Then it cuts to the intruder trying to block the camera, then walking over to the brush. And this is very important, as just before this video cuts, something gets his attention. At the same time, we see something in the background. You can see a set of lights in the background, and this gets the attention of the intruder. I believe this could have been a signal to a second intruder. Now notice that this video ends just as the intruder looks over at something or someone.
Nope.
It then cuts to the intruder using the brush to block the camera, but why? Why did the video cut there? Was this all they could retrieve, or did the FBI make a cut there on purpose? So in the final video, we can see that the intruder is now using the brush to block the camera. But why not use your hand like before, or even your body? I believe there was a cut from the second video to this one on purpose. And I will show you the evidence that, in my opinion, shows a second intruder next to the first one. As we look at the third and final video, we can see that the intruder clearly has some brush in his left hand. To the left, I have a still shot of the front door where the Nest Cam would be. But notice that there is something that comes into the frame on the right-hand side. It's tough to tell what the object is, but I don't think this came from the door or the bracket that the Nest Cam is on. So what is it? You can clearly see that the object comes out of the frame to his left, meaning that did not come from his body. Some believe it could be a phone being handed off to him, and while it's certainly possible, as it does have that rectangular shape and body.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
I do also wonder if it is some kind of tool that is being handed off to him by a second intruder. It's also possible that while the first intruder is blocking the camera, a second one is taking the camera off. You can even see that his right hand is to our top left, so it would be impossible for him to be handed something to himself.
Jacket, isn't it?
Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is potential proof that there was a second intruder next to the first one? Also, if you missed this video about the light source in the background, please check that out next. Nancy Guthrie is still missing as of making this video. If you have any information about her, please call the FBI tip line. Please smash that like button, consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching.
Oops. What do you guys think of that? That's pretty interesting, right? Let me remove that real quick. Okay, 1 second. That's pretty interesting, right? I think it was the reflector on his jacket though. It could absolutely be another person there, but I'd have to like watch it for a couple times to make sure. But remember like how when he's walking, his reflectors on his jacket, it looks like it's lights kind of too. And then when he walks in, he's walking in like this and you see a light come on and he bites the light. It looks like so he could see the step kind of. I don't know. Yeah, it is very interesting. Very strange. Hold on 1 second. Let me remove this real quick. I want to go back to this video. Actually, let's go see what's going on live view real quick, and then we will go back to this other video if I can get it to load. I'm probably freezing up. Give me a second. My computer is here. We'll just go to this. There. Oh shoot! Here. Sheriff's there. Oops, let me remove this banner here.
There's this really negative.
Oh, I see what's wrong. It's not.
It looks like a ship, James. It looks like it's just a patrol.
Yeah, no, I think there's.
Why does it look like that?
There's the guy down there that wrote the article from the Arizona Republic. That guy.
Good, he's got his own banner. I don't have to put one up. Not frozen for you. Thank you, Joyous. Yeah, sometimes I don't know. Yeah, I think it's organized too.
Been to the west of the port of entry. Yeah, I've been all over there. I've done live streams in the whole downtown there.
Where are you from?
Florida.
Oh, have you been to the Mexican side though?
I think.
You should. Really good food.
So
really good
I think the photo that they showed us first was when he was leaving, in my opinion.
From like 22, 24.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Just go.
Because think about it.
Go eat.
Enjoy the day. It's so lively.
I think the first photo that they showed us. Let me come here. I don't know if you can hear me correctly. So the very first photo, the one without the backpack, right, where he's just standing there, I think it's when he was about to leave. Just in my opinion. Why do I think that? Because in my opinion only, from looking at the backpack, it looks like there's some type of blanket or tarp in the bag. Because when he bends over, you know, if you've got a stuffed heavy backpack, right, it's gonna hang in the back. Especially when you bend over, it's gonna hang. It's gonna be heavy on the bottom, right? So if he's got a blanket or a tarp in there, sorry, this shirt makes me itch around my neck. If he's got a blanket or a tarp in there, right, it's not going to be that heavy. I mean, a tarp can be heavy depending, but it's going to be bulky. And it looks like on the top of the backpack, I think I showed it in one of my community posts, it looks like he can't zip it all the way up. So I think that first photo that they showed us was actually at the end, maybe, like he was coming back to take the camera off, was the last step. Maybe he's already put her in the vehicle or put her wherever, right? And he doesn't need the backpack anymore. He's already taken the backpack off because he needed the blanket or tarp to cover her or whatever he needed to do with it. So he just came back by himself because he's like, shit, let me go remove that stupid camera, probably. Just my opinion. And I think that's what it was. So he came back by himself. He already used the stuff that he needed out of the backpack. He's already put Nancy in the vehicle or wherever he put her, and he was coming back to grab the camera. But I could be wrong. But the plants, though, right? The plants look like they fell off. So I don't know. It looked like we never could see if they actually stayed on there. I don't think you could get those to stay on there. But just me, anyways. I could be wrong. Completely wrong.
Is it?
Border cities are very safe. Don't believe, the comments. I think I'm very biased on that because I've born and raised.
Can you guys hear me okay? Or the video?
What city are you from?
San Luis.
San Luis, yeah, down by Yuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a live stream out there too.
For what?
Just to show the town.
Not freezing for you?
Small, right?
Yeah.
Is that better?
It's so small. Those Mexicans,
I literally, let me see. I literally did a whole, let me see. I was just walking around.
That's better? Okay.
What year was that?
I'm going to look right now.
Why is there no video of them taking her, though? I think they grabbed her from the back door.
When was this?
I don't know. But we know that she came out the front door because there's blood there.
2 years ago.
Yeah, so it was 2 years ago.
Unless they
San
came
Luis.
out and
Was it? Went
she
to San Luis, right here.
told them how to take it off, the camera off.
So I was just walking
It was
around down
weird.
there.
It's one of the safest cities in Arizona, I should say. You
Is
can
it?
walk at any time by yourself, and nothing's gonna happen to you.
Nah, it looks pretty super chill. I was just like walking.
Super
Looks like they were walking around the side of the house too.
Yeah, our biggest employer is agriculture.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
So
you guys.
Is that
You
all
too,
the stuff
Daphne.
that's like going up
There was a
from
video
San
of this
Luis
thing
going up
in
to that?
Pima?
Yeah, they
not
need to put
Puma,
more
but
video
that
up.
one side
All
where
right,
the
what
Native
else?
American
Let's see what else
reservation
is going
is.
on here. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. Bud.
Yeah,
Where
it's
the
all
border
fields.
kind of moves upward.
It's all fields. It's all
Yeah,
agriculture.
I got stuck out there.
Yeah,
I
he
was in
could
my
have
SUV,
carried her
Border
out.
Patrol
You know, if there's
towed me.
two people, they both could
Like I
have helped
literally
carry
went on
her.
the dirt road. It was raining, and I just went into the mud,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't get out because there was like fields out there.
Because of it. Okay.
I wonder if he asked her, like,
Gotta go.
how do you remove this camera? Like, you know, open the door and just stood there
You're
for a
welcome.
minute
Thank you.
saying, how do you remove this camera? How do you remove this camera? And that's how her blood got there.
Yeah, you should go to
Because didn't the
surveillance,
sheriff say they didn't exit out the front door? I don't know. I thought I remember hearing something like that.
right?
I
And
want
it's
to take
very
him to El
safe.
Charro before you leave.
And Charlo's
What's
a
your
good place.
favorite Mexican restaurant?
My
Here?
home.
Well,
my home.
What about here in Tucson?
No, like actually my house, my cooking.
Oh, I'm sure.
It depends. So, because I usually cook at home whenever I want Mexican food. Obviously, it's just like regular food for me on a daily basis. But I don't know. For breakfast, I really like.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Joyous. Thank you, Daphne. I have to go and we'll watch the replay, crew. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you.
Irvington and
You have a good night, my dear.
Oh, okay.
just
Now I gotta head out soon too. The wind is so bad here.
Restaurant there, and it's open all day. But I really
I can
like
hear
the
everything blowing around outside.
It's like homemade.
Thank you, honey.
It's really good.
Eugene says, I emailed you a
it's
photo
very
of the
homemade.
blood splatter. However, the plant from
My
the
husband's
cover of the
like,
camera on
"Have a great day."
top of the blood. Okay, let me go check it out. Thank you. Yeah, I think someone installed it as well, but they still could have asked her, hey, how do you remove this thing? Hey, how do you
All right,
remove
not
it?
much
You know,
activity out here. JLR investigates. We're approaching the 4:16 hour. We got about.
but it's an easy Google to remove too. So
Has there been any new information posted today? Because I found.
no, these people.
I literally found none.
All right, let me go. You emailed me. Let me check. My email's been acting weird. I didn't see the email, hon.
Your newspaper guy's back.
Yeah, saw him.
Maybe it'll take a minute.
Arizona Republic. He's the one that wrote the article. Where's he at?
Maybe that's.
Open his next story.
I haven't got it yet, hon. The email. I'll keep checking. I'm in New
He's the one
York.
with the camera people jumped up and started going.
Yeah, with that one guy.
Yeah, she could have been simply real.
Right there, Arizona Republic.
All right.
I didn't have a problem with the
Check
article.
something real quick.
People will say hit piece. It was a hit piece.
This is crazy. Mm.
It was a hit piece. Comes in with the sunglasses. I guess we're just showing reporters that are at the scene.
This guy's
So we
in.
get some more
Let
information.
me show you guys this picture real quick. Oh, Watertown. Yeah, that's nice. We're not getting as much snow as New York City right now, thank God. I want to show you guys this picture real quick. Let me just turn this down some. So check this out, you guys. Oh, I guess I turned my camera on. So
we got, Mel?
Oscar Alday is in U.S. custody at the Pima County Jail, where he faces charges of kidnapping and assault. Alday was captured and detained in some. Oh my gosh, let me show you.
How much? 700.
Sinaloa,
27. Why?
Mexico. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Why?
Give me a second. I'm trying to get it to load. Nothing wants to load it. You know what? There. That's what he looks like.
Flight canceled.
So he was just arrested. Can you guys see that? With kidnapping and assault. But he was in Mexico. He wasn't in
I think I'm gonna bite the bullet, but it's
Tucson. But they brought him back to Tucson. So he's originally from here. Does he look like the perpetrator to you guys? He's got the same goatee and mustache. Maybe the eyebrows look similar. What do you guys think? Let me see if I could blow the photo up bigger for you. Give me a second. I think the eyelids, though. Here, let me make this bigger.
Would you believe? Yeah, would you believe?
Get rid of JLR for a minute.
And what they did was they charged me more to go through that.
His eyelids aren't as heavy. Like they don't. You know what I mean? They're not as hooded. That's what I'm trying to find. But the mustache and the little goatee thing here is kind of similar.
It's like an East Coast line.
Let me show you a picture of his full body.
ABC has left the party.
I mean, he's got the body. I don't know how tall he is, so I'll have to look up. That's the full body here. Interesting, right? No. Okay. The eyes on our perpetrator, they had nice eyes. Like, they were almost like female eyes, right? Right? Give me a second. There we go. Add that to stage real quick. Yeah, our perpetrator's eyes have, I swear they got green eyes, but I could be wrong.
For weeks, and unrelated
Eyebrows are thicker.
We discussed the backpack. We didn't.
Yeah.
Backpack.
Maybe Badili has my vote. I could be wrong. You know who?
Patricia says no silver alert.
Well, that's the thing, human.
Why no silver alert?
The sheriff is saying that since there's more of her DNA mixed with the perpetrator, so that you got like 10% perpetrator and 9% Nancy's DNA, right? It's going to be hard to split those. And hopefully they'll actually have enough. We read an article earlier. I posted it in chat earlier that he talks about it. It's a new article that just came out. So hopefully they'll be able to split the DNA.
Why is there no more pleas by Savannah or anyone? Why isn't there nothing else?
Yes, I saw that, Lisa. That was after.
Stopped TMZ.
That was after, and I think one of the neighbors actually called them. Tina, it does look like female eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, Jeanette, I feel like the guy on the porch has green eyes. I don't know why. Or is Hazel or something. Can I see his tattoos? He does have a tattoo on the left arm, but it's not. Let me see if I can get a better picture of him. But if it was him, you would think that. So he's a fugitive. He was captured in Mexico after escaping Tucson jail more than 3 years ago. So he's probably been staying in Mexico this whole time.
Standing around here.
But I'm trying to pull up his tattoos.
Literally have like 2 tents left. One car left on the other.
I don't see any. We are deeply grateful for that.
Let's see what's going on down here.
Jeez. We are deeply grateful for their collaboration and successful outcome. Now he's grateful that he gets help from outside sources. Stupid. Wow. Someone said that Sheriff Nanos has been in office for 5 years plus the non-continuous year in 2016. The escape of the guy that I just showed you happened one day after the kidnapper was in Sheriff Nanos' custody. The escape was 3 years ago on Sheriff Nanos' watch. Just something to be clear there. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they have enough of his DNA, you guys. Oh, seriously, Lisa? It takes 1 to 4 days for the investigator APS to get out there, which means they were. Oh, that's curious. Maybe I should call them. Yeah, Mexico's not too far away from there. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump. I would say it would be hard to tell eye color. I don't know. I just feel from the shape of his eyes, human, that they're gray. Or not gray, green. I don't know why. I know that's strange, but hi, Ocean. Good to see you, hon. I know that's weird for me to say, but I just feel that. I don't know, Adele. Like EquiSearch and stuff like that? Why? Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't. There's only been like the FBI searched, right? And the sheriff, but it wasn't that much. They searched a lot over by Annie and Tommaso's house. Remember, guys? They searched 3 blocks out from their house. That whole area. That's freaking nuts. Freaking crazy.
More flowers.
Yeah, I know, Jen, they do.
More balloons.
Oh, thank you, Baffled. I don't know. The first time I seen his eyes, I was like, they're green. I feel like he resembles the electrician, you guys. I just, and we know with the electrician, you know, he was out there 2 times in January. Hold on.
More flowers.
I could pull it up. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. Let me see this real quick. And if I can find my. Give me a sec. I want to pull that up for you. There's a lot of flowers out there. Okay. Load, please. Okay, let me check my email. I'm trying to get something to load too, so. Oh, I got it. I got them both at the same time. Thank you. Oh, yeah. See, okay. Let me show you something. No, please don't do that, computer. I'm going to pull up this crime timelines too for a minute. Okay. Let me show you this. Okay, so this is the blood splatter that Eugene just sent. And this is like a, am I glitchy here? Hi, what happened? Oh, that is cool, Peacemaker. Very nice. Awesome. So check that out. That's a close-up of the blood splatter. I think that, do I have a pen here? So this splatter here, right here, that one, looks like it came from the mouth to me. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. That's amazing. Congratulations. Then you have the other drops that could be from the nose, like we were talking about. But the one that the tiny droplets. Looks like it came from like nose and like coughing out of the mouth maybe as well. You think this one came from directly from her nose? This one? Look at the splatter compared to the other. Put it up here as close as I get it here. See the splatter on the top? Look at the bottom one. There's no splatter. Like she looks like she was probably closer to the ground. Closer to the ground on the bottom. But there's splatter there around this one, almost like it was coming out of nose and mouth, maybe, or cough, maybe, or something too. Maybe she's sitting on the ground, bent over, or being carried out like face towards the ground, or. Oh, that sounds so nice, Robin. That'll make her feel better. The sun. That will definitely make her feel better. Ooh, let me see that. It looks like something got. This one's been smeared. This one's been smeared. Look. Oh. So something's went over this blood droplet because look, so it's dried. You can tell when it dries. Like it looks like something might have went through that. You see that right there? That's interesting. Like and got stuck on something else maybe. Or it could be an air bubble too. Yeah. Yeah, because she did have blood thinners too. So, all right, there is something I wanted to show you guys. 1 second. We need a background on the friends list and stuff. Does this say? Give me just a second. I'm looking through this timeline thing real quick.
There's nothing going on this side.
Could have came from her hand. Yeah, it's a lot. Dark red would be from nose. Yes, nose. And that just bleeds a lot. Okay, I'm looking for something real quick for you guys. All right, 5:32 p.m. Nancy travels to local family member's home in an Uber. That's Annie and Tommaso's. 9:48, family drops. It's almost 4 hours later. They drop her off at home. Garage door opens at 9:48 and 9:50 closes. Let's see. I'm trying to find out. Okay. 9 a.m. Nancy failed to appear as expected Sunday morning gathering. Early law enforcement described this as a church appearance. Nancy Guthrie failed to appear at church. Then later source reported, published February 9th, 2026, stated Nancy was instead expected to attend a weekly Sunday gathering at a friend's home to watch a New York-based church services live stream and was not scheduled to attend in person. Why would he say she was supposed to go to church, like physical church, and then change it? That's just crazy. And then 11 a.m., concerned about Nancy's absence was raised and family members were alerted. I want to know if the friend went to her house.
Luke Daly's next door neighbor or a neighbor across the street.
What did he just say? They got balloons out there and everything now. This is so sad. Yeah, they haven't said anything about the cameras on the roof or anything. And I heard that there's cameras inside. Think about this. The guy the FBI stopped and later barged in his house. He got his car back. I don't think Jo has gotten her car back. Yeah, I don't think she's gotten her car back either. But Carlos still has not got his phone back. as of last night anyways. If she doesn't have it back, it definitely is an evidence. I'm not sure, Jeanette. I do know the woman that she was supposed to go watch church services with is a middle school teacher, though. She's a math teacher, from what I can see. I do have a picture of the electrician. I did. Did have a picture of the electrician, and I don't know where the hell I put it. My dog's literally trying to break down the door. Give me a second. Oh, poor thing. Do you guys find it weird that there's a reality show going on with the sheriff? Do you find that weird? Like what? And he even says in the reality, like in the interview for that shit, that he wants to bring in more tourism. Do you think that's weird? I think that's weird. I'm actually trying to find something actually. Okay, not that. Oh, strange. Give me a second and I can find him. Didn't he post a picture of him? All right, I'm going to read you off the electrician stuff. Give me a second. Where is it at?
So spoke to Luke Daly's neighbor across the street again.
Oh, there you
Gentleman,
go.
I think he said he was in his late or early 80s, been living there for 65 years. He's from Iraq. He said authorities never asked him about any surveillance footage or whatnot. He says that he would only see Luke's mom outside occasionally. Doesn't know anything about Luke. Hasn't seen him. Doesn't think Luke or his mom are involved in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping.
That's interesting.
At all. Doesn't think they're involved.
That's interesting. All right, why there's like nothing going on here, I want to go over this crime timeline with you guys. Give me a second. This is a Nancy Guthrie crime timeline, and keep him in the background. Oops, hold on a second. Crazy. All right, let's read this real quick. Can you guys see this? I'm going to hide myself so you can see that a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to post the link to this if you guys want to. This is amazing, right? This is Nancy Guthrie's crime timeline. It's complete, updated timeline. It has everything, like with all the articles, everything the sheriff said, everything in here, everything that's been done, all that. So I'm just going to read you a summary of it, right? So the FBI is examining multiple cell phones for potential evidence related to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, and we can kind of guess on whose those are, right? Devices are being reviewed for data such as communications, location information, and digital activity. This review is being conducted as part of the broader investigation effort. Law enforcement returned to Nancy Guthrie's home after previously clearing the scene. The return lasted about 2 hours and appeared highly targeted. Remember when they had the tents and stuff? It says the return search lasted about 2 hours and appeared highly targeted. Investigators focused heavily on the garage area and removed evidence bags. And remember, there was a canine unit that searched the yard and surrounding bush terrain. That was in the early beginning. Remember, they used a blue shirt of Nancy's. Then the family released a public video asking for Nancy to be returned safely. And remember, the video emphasized on Nancy's age, her health, and her medication. And remember, the family acknowledged for the ransom communications, and they were willing to communicate but needed proof of life. And there was never proof of life shown to the family ever. Hi, Shannon. Good to see you, my dear. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? What happened? Hold on. News Nation just said crews are searching underground tunnels for, okay, let me check. Give me 1 second and I will pull it up. Give me 1 second. All right. Give me a second. I will show it to you right now. Actually, is my X still up here? No. Let me log into my X account and I'll show you. 2 seconds. Put that down. So I posted that crime timeline in here. It's got everything about the all the work that was done on the house and everything from the electrician and all that. Okay, News Nation. Okay, here's News Nation. Okay, I see it right here. Okay, give me 1 second. It's only like a 31-minute clip, though. Let me remove this. Oh my God, there's so many buttons to click. Okay. Can you guys hear that? No.
Following Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, but my source in the FBI gave me new details about this timeline today, and what they told me was the FBI reached out almost immediately to Mexican authorities following Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, but the media only learned about it 18 days into this investigation. But what this source continues to emphasize, and what we even heard from the Pima County Sheriff, is that there's no evidence that Nancy Guthrie was taken across the border or is being held currently in Mexico.
That's the only thing they posted. What the heck? Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see what else they got up here. Am I showing? Okay. All right, breaking. Oh, shoot. Okay. It's just a short clip. Maybe they have a longer one over here. Let's see. They talk about the cartel on this one, but oh, here. Let's watch this one.
Some are worried that the investigation isn't moving. In 3 weeks since anybody has heard or seen Nancy Guthrie, and despite the international media attention that Guthrie's disappearance is generating,
Was it
some are
YouTube?
worried that
Okay.
the investigation isn't moving fast enough to save the Today Show host's mother, even if she's still alive. News Nation national correspondent Nancy Liu is outside the Guthrie home in Tucson, Arizona for us. Nancy, good morning to you. Certainly not the update that we were hoping for, but authorities say it could take a year to process some of that evidence found in this case.
You're right, Marky. And as this investigation enters a fourth week, the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie remains a mystery. And according to the sheriff, the genetic genealogy process, that could take up to a year or even more. That's because it includes the DNA from more than one person. So the work of running it through databases is that much harder. Investigators are still working to identify the masked and armed suspect seen in that doorbell camera video from Guthrie's
I
front
got it.
porch. They've already identified the backpack as a brand sold only at Walmart. Well, now
I got it, guys.
detectives may be closer to pinpointing the man's shoes, pants, and jacket. Now, the Tucson community is eager to help. A group of volunteers spent much of Sunday searching in tunnels and thick brush not far from Guthrie's home. Some saying it's no easy task, but this is personal.
I mean, I've spent majority of my life in Tucson, and you don't realize how vast it is. My mother died many years ago, and she would be around Nancy's age now. And if this was her, I would want people to do what they could to help me find my mom.
Volunteer searchers actually found a backpack that looks similar.
I want to say something right here. Can you guys hear me okay? See the top of that backpack? It looks similar, right? But it's not the same one. But I want to show you something. So the top of this backpack right here, how it's open kind of, or has this pocket. Is that a pocket or is it open? That's what it looks like on top of the perpetrator's backpack, was similar to that. It almost makes you oh, cheesesteak sounds so good right now. Hi, Jeanette. Oh, you're in the little thing, aren't you? Yeah, it was a Swiss gear backpack. You have the same one, Peacemaker? But the thing is, like it's open on top too, right? Like the perpetrators is, which is freaking weird to me. I don't know.
To the suspects, and it is not a match, though.
Oh, it's a handle. It's not open.
Came by to pick it up and bring it in for processing. Of note,
Yeah,
though,
it's probably
Marky,
homeless
that
or something.
around here in the tunnels, in the storm drains, there are homeless people who live out here. So there are all
I got that
kinds of
video too,
discarded items to find, which very likely have no link to what happened here at the Guthrie house.
All right, I have the video. Give me a sec. I have the video she was talking about on YouTube. Just give me 1 minute. Where they search underground. Yeah, remember the tunnels? The tunnels is where the homeless were. All right. This is it, right? Yep. Okay. 3 minutes.
Forget about the Nancy Guthrie story. As a matter of fact, we're headed to Arizona right now. It's day 23 in the search for Nancy. Our senior national correspondent Brian Enton is on the story live from Tucson from the beginning. Okay, Brian, what about today?
This is the home where the homeless were, guys.
What are we learning?
Remember, they were sleeping in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that it's now day 23. I can't quite wrap my mind around it. It's now been three weeks. But
all those were
still
homeless.
Here. We're in Tucson. There were searches
things
that happened all weekend long. Connell, I wanted to show you actually one of the areas where these volunteer searchers came out this weekend. There's these underground tunnels in Tucson that I didn't know existed until people started to talk about them. And
JLR was there the other day.
Actually came in several of these this weekend just to look, because you think about there's only so many places that the law enforcement can go, but when these volunteers get involved, they can really spread out, and that's what they did. So they were in these tunnels. They searched pretty much this entire one. We'll lose service if we keep going, but we walked through the entire thing too. They actually found a backpack in this area, and the Pima County Sheriff's Office came out to actually collect the backpack and take it into evidence. It didn't seem to match the backpack that we've seen in the surveillance photos and video, but still, nonetheless, these volunteers do seem to be helping. Now, day 23, law enforcement sources who I've talked to say it is not a cold case, Connell. They seem to emphasize that, though there haven't been any significant updates that have come out today, Connell.
Well, I'm trying to understand these tunnels. So that's like in downtown Tucson, or like right outside the city, or like what's the deal with the tunnels exactly again?
Yeah, so these tunnels, they're actually not downtown. These are close to where Nancy lives. So we're like, in the foothills outside of downtown. And I think they're drainage tunnels. So the water would rush through here when there's big rains. But, homeless
actually,
people come down here, and these volunteer search groups just figured, like, we need to go through the tunnels. You would never know, if someone was down here, so they did. Luckily, no one was found. But again, they did find some belongings that they handed over to law enforcement.
Okay, that makes sense. Now you had another special this weekend, I know, on Saturday night where you were like taking questions right from viewers and whatnot. So did anything stand out in terms of what people were asking or what might help the investigation or?
One of the big things that people were talking about, and this is new that came out over the weekend, the sheriff actually said to be tested, the DNA from Nancy's house and also from the glove, to be tested at the private lab in Florida. And now the sheriff is saying that there have been challenges. That's the word he used, because there may be more than one person's DNA all kind of combined. And he's saying it could take weeks, months, and he said maybe even a year. So that was something that came up during the special that just concerned a lot of people. Gosh, because we thought maybe we would get the DNA test results back sooner.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
Good grief, that's so loud. That is so loud. Hi, Cassie. Good to see you. You're fine. You're fine. I saw a video of JLR today of him in the mountains, and there's so much desert. Yeah, I did, where he was on top of the mountain. That's crazy. Ex-con YouTuber that lives in the area, and he went across the border. He says there's no way cartel would operate this way. I do not think it's cartel. I just don't see them taking an elderly woman, right? Like, what's the point? We got to think here logically, right? Why would someone take an elderly woman? Why take her at that point in time? Why take her then, right? Like, why take her now when she's been living there since 1975? Also, we heard that she had a dog. We know Savannah has the same type of dog, right? Savannah's dog, I think, has like a white spot on it or something. Nancy's was like all black, right? And I heard it passed away in December or something like that. So did this person know that she no longer has a dog in the home? And then also, who would do this? Did she have, like I said, she's been going around to different people's homes to watch this church service. How long has she been doing this? I heard since like 2020, right? So it's been what, I almost said 5 years. I don't even know what freaking year it is. So 6 years she's been going around to different people's homes and watching a church service. From what my understanding. So the thing is there somebody new within the group that's been trying to get close with her or something that maybe had wanted to do something bad to her? I don't know. But usually in most cases, statistics show that it's usually family or friends or medical personnel. That's what it shows. Like, I'm not making it up. And why and who, what would be the reason to take an elderly woman? Like, you're just not going to take someone and like hold her hostage for this long, for 23 days. No one's going to do that. If it was cartel, they'd be asking for more money anyways, right? And if it was somebody actually wanting money in exchange for her, they would have already done it, the exchange. They would have already got the money. They'd have been like, okay, give me the money. Leave it here. Here's Nancy. Go ahead, right? What if it's somebody, you know how Savannah came back home 3 months prior, right? Or a couple months prior. There was a whole video on it. Justin and I showed it, where they went to their old restaurant, El Charro, and her, Annie, and Savannah, right? Nancy, Annie, and Savannah went there. And then Savannah went to her old stomping grounds at the college, right? Think about this. What if it was someone that she went to college with, right? That was like a clingy, like used to be a best friend or something like that. That's went kind of cuckoo, and like is always kind of obsessed over Savannah, right? She ran into this person. And what if this person was like envious of Savannah and took her mom out of vengeance because she wanted to make Savannah feel bad. Like she wanted Savannah to hurt because she like was so obsessed with her. But the thing is, I look at it like this, like if it was really pointed towards Savannah, wouldn't there be some type of notification, some type of note left, something pointing at her, right? I mean, yes, taking your mom, that's like the worst thing you can do to somebody, like, or other than your child, right? To take your mother, like someone who gave birth to you. It's just like the worst thing ever. Like I would be one pissed off mother chicken, right? Like two mother chickens if someone took my mom. So is it somebody that wanted to upset her? Somebody that was envious? Somebody that used to be a friend to her and she kind of shunned them away because they were psychotic or something. And then it kind of like when she came back into town, she went to her old stomping grounds. It awoke some kind of something in this obsessive person's head and decided, you know what, screw this. I'm so pissed that Savannah has a job at NBC. I'm so pissed that she's doing well. I'm going to go do something to make her hurt. Could it be something like that? You know what I mean? Thank you, Ms. Shannon. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. What do you think? You think that they would have went after her instead of the mom? But she lives in New York, though. If they live in Arizona and she lives in New York, so it'd be kind of hard. But I mean, thank you, Miss Shannon. You're amazing. Thank you. You're such a sweetheart. I'm sticking with tomato, and yeah, I find that quite odd too about the bandmate. I honestly do. You know, a lot of stuff's been hidden too. Like when you try to get into digging lately, a lot of it's been hidden or put private. I'm just trying to think of like, why now is the question I have. After all these years, what triggered this to happen? And like I keep saying, did she make a change in her finances with a will, with property? Did she tell somebody no? There's been a lot of mention of cryptocurrency, and it makes me wonder, but that was with the ransom notes. Is there anything of relevance with the ransom notes and who took her, right? Or if it's all a diversion. All those ransom notes are a diversion. It's just, yeah, it does seem like a motive. Sibling jealousy. And that's something that I showed earlier too, was when these articles are started, it always says mother of today co-host. It never mentions the other two children, right? And we know that her brother is a pilot, just like the dad. I believe the dad was a pilot too. And then, you know, Annie supposedly does like real estate and stuff like that. It's just a coincidence that Nancy Guthrie and Savannah are on the magazine covers and the special day they just aired. I don't believe in coincidences either, Lucy. I absolutely do not. I mean, I know you have your little weird quirks and stuff that happen, but in cases like this, nope. I sure don't. If it was a setup. Jealousy. I feel that it's either someone done out of vengeance. Someone was paid because of vengeance. You know, you'd have to pay somebody a lot of freaking money. What if the Bitcoin that was asked of the family was to pay the person, the person to do the job, or pay them the rest of the money to do the job? Like, here's half up front. I don't know how it works, but I don't know who did this. I'm not comfortable saying it's a family at the point. Yeah, I feel it's something within the family or acquaintance or something like that. No more money. Yeah. jealousy and vengeance are one of the two, and love, obviously, right? Ransom notes are separate. Who, the first guy, right? They arrested that clown. But what about these other clowns that have written these ransom notes or emails? Why haven't they been arrested? What about that? What do you feel about that? Why haven't they been arrested? The other freaking people. I don't understand that. So they arrested the one guy, the Derek guy, right? They arrested him. But what about the other clowns that wrote emails and ransom notes? And why send them to TMZ? Most of them went to TMZ. Let's think. Why would you send them to TMZ? Yes, because they're like I don't know, like a gossip like thing, and they talk about all the Hollywood stars and stuff. But still, like, what's the connection? What's the connection with TMZ? What's the connection with Bitcoin? What's the connection with the Range Rover? With Carlos's phone? With Luke Daly? With Annie's vehicle? With searching their home 5 times? Their neighborhood out 3 blocks? What are those connections? What's the connection with the lady Anna, who she was supposed to see the next day, who actually was at her home on January 30th, right? What is the connection there? What is the connection with the game? It seems they're all in this game, and we know that they play for money. What's the connection there? It all connects somehow. I'm telling you. Yeah. The sheriff is just, at one point I was like, I really thought that maybe it was somebody in law enforcement. This person is obviously obvious. I don't know if they're that professional, but they know what they're doing to be able to stump all these people, right? Has the sheriff given the FBI all of the evidence? He's the one that said he wanted more tourism. Well, now he's got it, right? Yeah, and that happens a lot, Murray, in families. That happens a lot. Where, if you've got like your children and stuff like that, I'm the only child, so I won't have that problem. When your parents are getting elderly and they have one child, that's usually the holder, right? That's usually that has the power of attorney, that usually does all the finances and stuff like that. And then you have a lot of the kids start fighting and arguing about stuff. I know that like one person in my family, they took all my grandmother's stuff because they had the power of attorney. And it's horrible. Before she passed away, they took all of her money and everything. So could something like that have happened where someone has the power of attorney? They were able to access her bank accounts and or other assets and took a bunch of money out, or had got a loan in her name or something like that, and she found out and cut them off. Could that have happened? Yeah, simply, yeah. Someone that wants to be seen. Yeah. I think the Bitcoin thing has something to do with it too, somehow. Kelly, I heard that, but I don't know where to find that. Like I've heard about it, but I don't have like it actual like receipt is what people say, or documented. I would love to see that. If you have it, will you email me? Because if I actually see that, then Yeah, attention. So they would have said it was burglars. Yeah, I don't think it's not a burglar. Who goes in? Like, seriously, yes, they've got a lot of freaking creepers around that town, and they all look the same. Like, everybody's dressed the same, it seems like, right? Which all those people need to get a big-ass dog. And so when those idiots come in their yard, they're getting bit, in my opinion, right? So this guy was completely different, in my opinion. Who's going to rob a house with a full backpack? I just don't. Do you guys have that with the Bitcoin thing? Harvey didn't need instructions involved with us. Yeah, that's creepy in itself, Cassie. I'm telling you, it's all connected. I don't see how. Yeah, they can be used in that, Darla. I wonder if it's a family member, one of her friends who were the young people she was teaching. Yeah, and that's another thing to elevate, because it even mentions in that one article that she was teaching the younger crowd how to play that game. So who are those people she's talking about? Like, who are these people that came over, right? Did her guests that came over January 30th have a +1? Did they leave a door unlocked? Like a door that she doesn't use or something, or wouldn't notice being unlocked? Did they take a key off of her keys when she wasn't looking and hid a key somewhere? Because there was no forced entry anywhere. So they had to have gotten in by key or left the door or window. Maybe they left the window unlocked. Maybe they were in her house for that party, right? And left a window unlocked. Could that have happened? Oh, it's baffled. It's horrible what goes on. Like, I watched one of my side, like my mom's side of the family, just, it's ridiculous. I think maybe somebody left the window unlocked or something. Bitcoin. Then Nancy Guthrie cyanide, and I don't know. I never heard that, Christine. That's interesting. Life insurance policy 11 days before she went missing. Can they even collect on a life insurance policy if they don't have a body? Was it in last night's interview room? Oh, hold on. Do I have it? Oh, I don't have the video up here. I'll have to go back and watch. I probably missed that part or spaced out when I was watching it. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, I'm going to have to look that up, and thank you for letting me know, you guys. I'm going to have to get off here, but I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm glad you mentioned it, because think about it. The gun store owner, right? He says that the names, they're not names he recognized. So that tells me, and he says he deals with a lot of locals and he gets to know them. Your phone, yeah. Why is everybody's phone kicking them out of the group tonight? That's weird. So it makes me wonder. One thing before I let you go. Yesterday, JLR had a guy come up to him. He was a restaurant owner. He was Bosnian, and I'm not saying he has anything to do with it, but he was wearing a jacket, like a North Face, right? Which is very warm. Like, I have a pullover that's North Face. I wear it up here because it's like -500 up here. And I wear it here, and it keeps you really warm. This guy had a North Face jacket on, heavy jacket on, in 80-degree fucking weather, excuse my language. And he was, I don't know, like something was off about him. And then I heard somebody else talk about, I don't know if it was him or somebody that works with him or something. So I'm going to try to catch up with it. Did you see that? Do you think that was weird, Jen? I don't know if he has anything to do with it, but I just thought that was really strange. Like, who the hell's wearing a jacket in 80-degree weather? Like one that like makes you freaking sweat, like when it's negative 20 outside. So yes. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you are just in the bushes, put your name, put where you're from down in chat. Come say hi to us. Subscribe to the channel. We love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this case. And yeah, this is crazy. We also do other, as you guys know, everybody that's been following me, I do other cases. Usually missing children's cases is what we do. I will be doing like a Jack and Lily like video coming up soon because Mr. Martell will be going to court here within a week. So that's going to be kind of crazy. Yes, Eastern European people do have green eyes, Adele. Yes, that's interesting, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you. And if you are on the northeast coast right now, I hope you are staying warm and I hope you have electricity and I pray it stays on for you. The winds are crazy here right now. We're getting 40-mile-per-hour wind gust here. But Adele, you are correct. Like the coast, they're having like 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's almost hurricane strength force winds, right? With snow. That's crazy. Yeah. So really strong nor'easter. And shut up, Cassie. You're so funny. Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you. Oh, yes. And hey, yeah, join our Facebook group here. Join our Facebook group if you are not on there yet. We'd love to have you. So, but I appreciate each and every one of you. You all are fantastic. And let's find answers. The question is why? Why that night? Who would target her? Who would target an 84-year-old woman? What kind of person hurts an 84-year-old woman? Just think about that. Yes. Have a great night, guys. I love each and every one of you. Stay warm, and we will talk to you soon.